Can your nerves handle it after the last 2 weeks? Might be frustrating. Optimist climb right off the bat. Congrats on being a member for 4 months. Appreciate you. You were thinking about it yesterday. You mentioned Tom. Godspeed, brother. Do you guys think 25 FSU is closer to the 830 team? That would be the one that beat Alabama, or the mistake-prone team the last 2 weeks. I think they're the same team. I think they're that. I think that when they play their best brand of football, they're a good football team who could beat a lot of people on a given Saturday. A lot of good teams they could beat on a given Saturday. I also think, partly due to scheme, partly due to talent, that there are limits to what this team can be, and there are areas in which they can get exposed. And there are ways that the game has to be played for them to maximize what they are within that system. And if it's not played that way, you could find yourself, caught up in a problematic situation. Most notably, a quarterback pressing, attempting to do too much. It could also be that, you don't have a sophisticated, and we know this, passing offense. And when that's the case, you can find yourself in a situation where Tommy's best attributes are not better able to be utilized, and then you're screwed. So that's my worry. That's that they get down in some games and, they get exposed for what this is.
My worry will be, as you can see, I was typing feverishly on the other side of the glass. Just head to the homepage on the 20 VTI for the stream. Let me use the old school and click on a new link that I have set up for you.
Oh, okay.
So radio audience has been fine the entire time. They've heard every word, and we've got a new live stream audience. Kind of like what happened to your coach speak last week, just happened. So I just got everybody set up with a good link.
So everything is shutting down, but so do I need to get out of this link? Do I need to be out of this StreamYard?
Click on the duck, go to the homepage, and then you'll see a new one waiting for you. So you hop in there.
What a mess.
But while you're doing that, I would agree. What this is, I think what this test is tomorrow is about Tommy's composure, Tommy's ability to see it after the snap and deliver the ball. You're not going to have much time with the amount of pressure that Pitt is going to bring. And so if there's a lot of pressure from Pitt, instantly you've got to have an answer, be that with short in-breaking routes or little hitches, like obviously they found at Louisville in the second half of that comeback, which, did you watch the circumstances by which Louisville lost to Pitt?
Yeah.
You got 2 special teams turnovers inside your 20-yard line.
An awful interception.
Pitt throws an interception inside the 5-yard line. That is as bad of a beat as there is. Like, I'd still be furious if I was a Pitt fan in that circumstance. But Tommy is going to have a plan immediately after the snap. And we're going to have to give him that opportunity to deliver the ball quickly after the snap. Because if you go with long developing routes against this type of pressure defense, you're playing right into their hands. So that's one thing I want to watch for tomorrow.
I mean, honestly, guys, it can't possibly be that, right? I mean, it's not like you don't know who Narduzzi is. It's not like we don't know that Pitt is going to pressure you. That's what they do. To some extent, and for different reasons, you could see this game being a little bit like the way Miami, prepared to play Florida State. Knowing that, and again, for different reasons, and I'll explain, Miami knew that Florida State was going to be hell-bent on stopping the run. They were going to go all in on trying to stop the run. And so you could use that aggressiveness and that commitment to forcing Miami's hand to do something different. You could use that to your benefit. You could certainly, and they did with the screens. They set it up to throw right behind you. And they knew that, all right, we can set up some big plays down the field off of this, but it certainly helps that you could protect the quarterback, and they have one of the better offensive lines in the country. It kept him, for the most part, clean, and he's able to make accurate throws because he's a good quarterback when he has time. Tommy needs to feel like, that he has an outlet because of the pressure that's going to be thrown at him by Pitt. It is interesting to me, Tom, to think a little bit about Pitt being pretty good, at times very good, against the run. when this is primarily what we want to do. Now, we run differently, but it is interesting to see, do you pass the ball and go away from the crux of your offense? Do you pass it early to get them out of that mindset and that approach to stopping the run? Loosen them up.
Yeah, I mean, you could. The whole thing is about the amount of blitzers they bring, pressures they bring from different angles. You can't predict it because it's so far behind the line of scrimmage. They got no problem with a linebacker being at 5 or 6 yards depth or a safety being at 7 or 8 yards depth. And then that's the blitzer. A lot of times you'd think, well, that's dumb. It's going to take longer to get home. But they want the confusion that comes out of that. So I think a lot of times what you're setting yourself up for are tackles for loss and explosive plays in the backfield if you're thinking about it from the defensive perspective, because you're going to guess right a lot. But if you guess wrong and you blitz from the left and we're running to the right and you've got to account by rotating the back end of your defense for the blitz, we could run into some home runs that you feel like there's little to no resistance. Some of that is luck of the draw, cat and mouse. But one thing that Louisville did, I thought that was very effective in the second half as their offense got rolling, they ran a little bit of speed option, one specific play to the left, they ran speed option, and then they ran a little bit of triple option, which resembles a whole lot of what Mike Norvell used to do with Jordan Travis, which is you've got a read option or a jet with a bubble outlet as your second option, and then you could keep it as the quarterback. Like little things like that will isolate you and put you in a position where you potentially could be in pretty good shape to, I don't know what's going on today, to succeed on the play. I was locked in until I saw your face.
Man, crashing sounds all around me for those of you that couldn't hear it. I'm like, what is happening in the radio station right now?
But the point is, no matter how you shake it, read option, drop back passes, Tommy's got to make up his mind quick, and he's got to be right, and we got to give him outlets that are quick as well. It can't always be perimeters and bubble screens, because if it is, they get downhill, they flow to that, they stop that. So there's got to be some differences to it.
I'm thinking about wedding crashers in the football scene. I'm thinking, hot route, hot route.
Totally. One of the sacks he took last week, he's got Pittman and Deuce to the right. They both are on like 15-yard routes. And there's a blitz coming from that side. Tommy's got to eat it. That can't happen. A lot of hitches, a lot of short passers. That's what we need. Some crossers, all that kind of stuff.
I think we'll be all right with that. This seems like an easy game to game plan for. I'm sorry. I just believe you ought to be able to, given what Pitt's put on tape so far. I've watched their games. You have too now. Now, we'll see what the kid is. He looked great against BC.
The rocket for an arm.
But I don't have a way to gauge how in the world he's going to handle his first ever road start at Doak against better talent than he's faced. I mean, BC is not even close. BC is a bottom feeder of this sorry league. And I mean, this year's version of BC is special bad. Special bad. So I don't know. It'll be curious to see what he does. He does have talent. He is physically gifted. He certainly played with great confidence and was emboldened the more the game went on. But I don't, how do you gauge how a kid handles a road start for the first time? How do you gauge what a kid is, no matter how talented he is, if he hasn't seen like athletes or better athletes? What happens the first time that the distance is closed in a way that he couldn't expect? That does something to somebody. I mean, the first time you get a whiff of speed, the first time you feel that, it changes how tall you stand in the pocket. So we'll see.
Well, and part of that, too, is also if they confuse you after the snap and you think you see something, but you don't see something, do you rat trap? Do you double pump? Do you just eat it or throw it out of bounds? That's composure, and we'll see what kind of composure he has in the situation. He's not. It takes about 3 or 4 steps for him to get motoring. And once he gets up to top speed, he's not slow.
No, he's a decent athlete.
It takes a while for him to get to that top speed. And so we'll see. They might catch a play or two just because we know he's kind of slow, and so therefore you'll kind of favor the other side if it's a read option or something like that. But that's offensively, they love to do jet motions and putting linebackers and safeties in conflict. Let's see how often we're in man. Let's see how often we're in zone to be a part of that conflict, or if we don't give a crap about it at all because we're just sitting back there and waiting.
Shed and Young, made the move a while back to cross-country mortgage, and that means better rates for you and more support, stronger support, better options, faster response. He does that with seven different states, I should say: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. But what makes Shannon special is not who he works for in terms of cross-country mortgage, not taking shots at cross-country mortgage. It's the way he works for you. He is a relentless, goal-oriented guy, high energy and a lot of passion, very smart, and unwavering in his commitment to his clients. He'll help his fellow Noles, and non-Noles for that matter, get the best loan options to buy your new home. You want to learn more about that? Go to loansfornoles.com. Go to loansfornoles.com.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it.
That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable, high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
Hey, Noel fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
When you need the plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to wait?
Hey guys, we really need you over here. My toddler just flushed a whole bunch of toys down the toilet, and everything, and I mean everything, is backing up.
2 hours?
Hey guys, just checking in. The water has reached the hallway now, and it's getting pretty deep. Can you get here anytime soon?
4 hours?
Hey guys, can you please hurry? Now my wiener dog is doing the backstroke over here, and they're not known to be strong swimmers. Hey honey, grab his life jacket.
8 hours?
Oh, so now you're here.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. Our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. And now M&L Plumbing can also be your go-to for all septic tank pump-out services. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing. Your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or online at mnlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachia Parkway.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Friday rolling on. That means we meet again with my man Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Lee's gonna jump on board and cough. Hey, that's a good Miami team you got down there, Lee, and they were the better team by a lot. I know the fourth quarter was window dressing, but although I will say, I talked to a Miami fan during that game in the fourth quarter, and he was like, is Mario trying to Mario here? What are we doing? Right. And I said, well, you're always going to be worried about that because it was weird, some of the throws at the end of the game. I'm like, what's he doing?
I wish that there was they had him mic'd up. And, like they do some coaches and they later play it, the SEC, they have
right.
these shows that go on. So I do know someone that had some very intimate knowledge when he was at Oregon. When they would get up in the fourth quarter, he would walk over to the offensive coordinator and tell him, run, and only throw the ball on third down really short. So he would tighten up. I don't know that now. I don't know whether it's all him or part, Dawson, but you got to think it's got to be some part Mario, because Dawson's play calling was perfect. He was spot on.
Well, he figured out early on that Florida State was going to sell out against the run, and Florida State did stop the run. They pretty much shut down Miami's running game, which was what they were scared to death about. But if you're going to do that, Miami's coming off a bye week. They had to know, Florida State's going to sell it to stop the run. We're going to get the screen game going, and then we're going to throw over their heads.
You have an extra week to prepare.
Yeah.
You can go to a lot of tape. You can find a lot of good stuff. I'll never forget this. One of my coaches said to me, he goes, listen, if I got 2 weeks, he goes, normally I got 8, 10, maybe 12 plays that I feel real confident in. I can come up with 20 to 25.
Sure.
And I might even install a couple plays, and I think that's what Miami did, which was smart. I think they were the better team.
Oh, yeah.
But I think their game planning was better also.
Oh, I thought they coached a better game, and I think that they reacted well to – Tony White did what he had to do because they got gashed by Virginia, so they weren't going to let Miami run the ball, which is what Miami wants to do. But I understand the approach, but sometimes you just get outclassed. I think Miami's offensive line is as good of an offensive line as we've seen. Looking around the country, I think where it gets interesting for Miami is they'll either be their own worst enemy because they keep winning. Obviously they're going to be in the top 5 right now for the rest of the year, it seems. Or they really won't play anybody until they play, in the playoffs like Ohio State or something like that. Yeah.
Right. I think right now, if I had to put the top teams in the country, I had to list them, I would say Ohio State's number 1. They got 4 or 5 guys, I think, in the top 10 of the country. The safety downs.
Yep.
Smith would have gone number 1 in the draft last year.
Correct.
I think Julian Sayin, the quarterback is great. Justin Sayin, sorry. And I think their other receivers are really good. They got a couple of good linemen and defensive linemen.
Hey, Lee, I was looking. Lee, at the draft. You know how you can go to the draft sites. I think Ohio State, from what I saw, has 6 defenders that will go in the first 2 rounds.
Right.
So, that's
the only thing that I laughed at was, and I saw a couple, they have Fernando Mendoza and 2 of them going first or second in the draft. Whoever those kids are that wrote them, they both were young kids. They're obviously smoking a lot of stuff because there's no way in the world he's going 1 or 2. I'm going to tell you this much, and it's not one of my games. Look at what he's done on the road against bad teams and at home. There's a big disparity. So I saw the kid play at Miami Columbus all the time.
Right.
I know what the kid's all about. Nice kid, probably, in my opinion, should go 3rd or 4th round. But a couple weeks ago against Iowa, they scored 20.
Mm-hmm.
And last year against you guys won 2 games. You guys beat them. They kicked 3 field goals.
Yeah.
And they got whitewashed at SMU. They lost to Pitt. They lost that SMU game. I think it was 38-6. And they lost to Pitt 17-15. Top tier quarterbacks. score a lot more than that.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. No, I would not. By the way, do you think Bain could go number one?
I don't think so. I think he's really good. Maybe 4 to 6, 4 to 7.
Yeah.
The question is how much. He's not Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. I was talking to an offensive lineman this offseason, and I said, "Who's the toughest guy to block?"
Oh,
he looked
yeah.
at me, goes, "Myles Garrett," and everyone else goes, "The guy's freak."
It's not even close. He is freakish. When you look at him, he doesn't look like a human.
Right.
I mean, he's just massive and long. And
he looks like, this is crazy. I'm going to date myself. Grape Ape. Remember the cartoon? Grape Ape?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so big, so tall,
So long. Yeah.
And has such an incredible motor. The guy said to me, he goes, unless we double team him, he's unblockable. So I think he's powerful, Bain. I think he'll go top 7.
Yeah.
But how do you take him, or even Downs? Downs might be the best safety the last 15, 20 years. Safety is an important position, but certainly you can't draft him 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, that's the hard part. I loved Hamilton when he was coming out, and he's been great for Baltimore, but I don't think I'd take him number 1.
Right.
All right, here we go. First up, we got a lot of big games this week, and you start right off the bat with Georgia and Auburn. They're telling us that Auburn may be coaching, or they may be playing for their head coach's job this weekend. That's the rumor on the plains. Georgia -3.5. What say you?
Okay, so first of all, I don't think Georgia's great. I think they are a far cry from where they were 3-4 years ago. So they lost Alabama, and Alabama was the better team. They probably should have lost Tennessee. So they should, in my opinion, be coming into this game with 2 losses. There were 7 or 8 plays in that fourth quarter that all went Georgia's way. Auburn, schedule-wise, I mean, whoever did their scheduling did them a real disservice. They had to travel to Baylor, and then 2 top 10 teams, Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Their defense is fine. They're only allowing 88 yards per game on the ground. They gave up in the 2 losses 16 and 24 points. They just got to have balance. They threw the ball 65 times, those 2 losses. You're not going to win many games that way. I love both of their receivers. Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman are going to go high in the draft. They're big-time players. Both have 2 touchdowns. If they're at home, just that sometimes 5 seconds that it takes when you're at home, it's easier to get the play call in, not have to go on a silent count. That can make a difference here. Georgia's top receiver, Colby Young. I mean, he's fine. He's a 2 or 3 on most teams. He only has 247 yards and 1 touchdown here. I think home field is going to matter in this game. 2, average, above average quarterbacks, a little above average quarterbacks here. I like Auburn. I like them a lot. And it'll be on my card for my clients.
Wow.
I think they win this game 27-20.
How about that?
Yeah.
Alabama and Mizzou is another game that raised an eyebrow right off the bat. I love Missouri's defense, and I actually think Mizzou's one of those programs that everybody should tip their cap. I mean, since they've come into the SEC, they've had a lot of years, Lee, where they're competitive, man, and they're not just competitive this year. They're good. Can they beat Alabama?
So Alabama's good and better than we thought. They're starting to gain, some footing here. They did have to kick a bunch of field goals last week, which they probably shouldn't have covered that game. That late touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy. If you had that one like I did, you're happy. If you had, like on Monday night, if you had Kansas City, you're crying. So that's the way gambling is. Yeah. Now, what's interesting, their defense is good. We don't know exactly how good no one's gained more than 300 yards against them. The only semi-test was South Carolina, but they don't approach Alabama. Alabama's receivers are next level. They are that good here. So I think, they're going to have some success against Missouri. But here's what I think is going to give this Alabama defense trouble. Bo Prabilla is very good. Penn State would love to have him back. Mm-hmm. He's thrown for over 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's completing 76% of his passes, and he's run for another 3 touchdowns. What makes him a hard, deep offense to stop is Ahmad Hardy, the transfer from Louisiana Monroe. Kid's gained 730 yards and 9 touchdowns, leading the nation. And he sat on the sideline or stood on the sideline for most of the fourth quarters of these games this year. This kid is incredible. The two teams they beat the last 2 weeks, Georgia and Vandy, their running backs, top running backs, don't even have half the yards that he has. So different type offense. I love the fact that they had a bye game plan for this game. I think Eli Drinkwitz is a very underrated coach. And in the game last year, if you remember that game, if anyone watched that game, their quarterback, Brady Cook, he was literally playing on one leg, hopping around, had no business being on the field. I think this is that circle game for these kids at Missouri. This is the one game they want. And they might try a trick play, get on top early, and put some pressure on Bama here. I don't think the Tide's going to roll here. Wrong team favored. Again, Missouri, 35.
I bet it when it first came out at the beginning of the week, and I actually did the same, Lee. I took them on the money line.
Yeah.
All right, FSU has to bounce back if they want this season to stay on the track and not go off the rails. They have a chance to still have a good season, not a great season, but a good season. And you have that season if you take care of business at home against middling teams in the ACC. That's a pretty big number. I've seen it move around from 10, 10.5, 11. FSU win this game, let alone cover. Your thoughts?
What do you think the line should be? You're pretty good at this. Real good at this.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought it'd be 7.5. So when I saw 10.5, I was shocked.
I thought 7.5, 8. Now, Pitt historically, part of it is they're 0-5 straight up and against the spread. Their last 5 road games have not performed well on the road. They have self-destruct. I mean, you look at the West Virginia game. They should have beaten the brakes at West Virginia.
We got screwed in that game. Yeah, that game was crazy. We got screwed in that game.
Yeah, horrible. And if they get a lead, you can come back and beat them. They play a real soft zone when they're up. But I think Mason Henschel is good, the freshman quarterback. Yeah. He's going to probably, if they can disguise their coverages, he's going to throw an interception or two. Playing on the road your first time is going to be tough here. But, I think it's a little too much. I think FSU is good, like you said, not great. And I have them winning the game 35-31. So the Pitt run defense is actually really good. So they need to bring some pressure once in a while. They're, I think, a little too vanilla on defense, especially if they've got a 7 or more point lead. It's when they're desperate. I think actually when they play actually a little bit better on defense. So I got a high-scoring game, 35-31. Seminoles, 10.5, 11 points, too much.
Man, this place will be on the edge of their seat if that happens. The Jags are the story of the NFL right now, certainly one of them. I was shocked initially to see the Seahawks have to travel across the country and actually be favored initially against the Jags. I don't know where the line sits right now, kind of like a pseudo pick'em. Who you got?
Yeah, it's anywhere from -1 to -1 either side. People don't know about the status of bunch of guys as far as San Francisco injuries. Boy, did everyone bet the Rams last week on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
They saw that cluster of injuries at receiver. Matt Jones is starting his first game. Bosa for the season. People always bet the first week. Wait 1 week. It's the second week when reality sets in and teams can get a little more game film on how to attack them here. So I think the Jags have turned the corner here. Liam Cohen, great play caller here. And he gets to see his old team, Tampa Bay, the game film at Seattle. And I think that will help him out. So I like the Jags here. I think they win this game 27-20.
Speaking of which, the Bucs had one of the most thrilling victories in the NFL for the year. That game was incredible. Baker Mayfield's playing like an MVP. The 49ers come across the country. This is an interesting game, though, because both these teams are winning close games, right? So every week, I think the Bucs' 4 wins are by a total of 9 points. The 49ers a total by 13. It's nuts. Who you got in this game?
Yeah, I mentioned, the injuries. People bet the Rams, and 49ers did the job. I think that the Bucs right now, even though, they've got a couple injuries, obviously no Bucky Irvin, but I think they have enough depth here and they're just coached so well. The run defense is good. And you put the 49ers in long down and distance situations. That's where they have trouble here. I think that's going to be their undoing. I like the Bucs. How do you go against a hot quarterback? One of my top 10 things to do. Never go against a hot quarterback. And Baker Mayfield is red hot here. Bucks 28-21.
Love it. Game of the week, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. How can folks get it?
Yep. First 5 callers. Call 800-400-9741. Give them Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Georgia Tech going to keep rolling, or they can have a tough game like they had against Wake Forest a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So you want to get it for free, just call that number, 800-400-9741. And if someone's never tried me before, how about this? We have what's called the NFL 5 for 55. 3 weeks ago, put out 5 games there. It's an immediate download. You don't have to call me back on Saturday or Sunday. You're ready to go. The lines are great on Fridays to attack them. We went 5-0. 2 weeks ago, 5 more games, 5-0. Last week, 5-0. We've gone 15-0 the last 3 weeks on the NFL 5 for 55 promotion. So if you've never tried me before, dip your toe in, NFL 5 for 55 on the website, ParamountSports.com. You want to get my phone service where there's games. Now there's games every single day for, I think, for like 47 straight days
That's
now.
Correct.
Perfect for us.
Yeah.
Our marriage, my wife knows the drill.
I've been married 20 years, Lee. She's not going anywhere. We're good.
I'm 32.
There you go. There you go.
So she knows the drill. She's even, she's even watching games with me.
Yeah.
The funniest line she said to me last Saturday, late afternoon, early evening, she goes, "Why are we watching this game in the snow? Is this from last year?" I'm like, "No, it's Wyoming, honey." So you want to hop on board. We don't call it October, Locktober. Every game, if they use coupon code SAVE200, just $297 through October 31st. So check out all the specials. We got baseball through the World Series, $97. Also UFC pay-per-view card, $37. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Have a great weekend, Lee. Always a pleasure. Talk to you again real soon, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, buddy.
Take care. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joins us every Libations Friday. We peruse the landscape, take a look at college football and the pros, and get those picks in. He's bounced back nicely after a rough start to the year. He's really had a comeback over the last several weeks. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news.
Caused some of their seniors to fall just short of that instructional requirement last year, which led to the district receiving an audit finding by the Auditor General. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 74. Northeasterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows level out around 62 tonight. Mainly cloudy skies expected. A blend of clouds and sun tomorrow. Highs around 79. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 68 degrees.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Doster with America in View.
Matt, Florida has become the world leader for freedom, and I love being in the studio with you every week where we are reinforcing the conservative movement with truth, the Constitution, and a little redneck common sense. We're waking the woke.
That's right, Brett. We enjoy talking politics and what's going on in the world. We're bringing our take on the issues, doing our best to fight for freedom.
So tune in every Friday at 4 p.m. on Real Talk 93.3.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Saw something hilarious this morning. Might put a smile on your face, Tom. I know it was a tough morning for you, buddy, and we're all thinking about that. But this might make you smile. I realized early, here you go, these are fatherly duties, husband duties, household duties, chores, whatever it might be. I realized early on, hey, I forgot to buy butter. Damn it, man.
Oh,
what are we doing? And you know, like in my household, I'm the guy.
That's an Irish butter, I believe.
It is, and it's the very best butter. But I don't fool around. I make sure that we are stocked with what we need. It's weird. I have a thing. I like grocery shopping. I like, I like to go to Publix. I'm giving them free love here. And I like to wander the aisles even for things I don't need. Like, that's how much I enjoy it. Now, it's the antithesis of, say, like the mall. I don't want to be in the mall. If I ever have to go to the mall, I'm kind of pissed that I'm at the mall. Within seconds, I'm like, God, dog, I'm in the mall.
It's the same thing, Winn-Dixie, Walmart. Grocery store is a grocery store, right?
No. So when I look, for example, you and I both love Costco. We like Costco. We both do. Again, free love. I know I shouldn't do it. But it's great when you walk into Costco. You feel great. It's euphoric. You walk in, you're like, all right, I like the smells. Look at these beautiful televisions. They got it set up. They've got you burned. I know it's all done strategically, and I fall for it every time. Ooh, look at the watches. I do it every time.
Once a quarter or so, that's enough Costco for me. Now, I can go to a Publix once a week. No problem. But Costco can also be an overcrowded experience. You really have to pick your times wisely. Certainly can't be doing that Sunday evening thing or that Saturday morning thing.
No.
You got to pick your spots.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
A reasonable Costco trip is fantastic, but there are times, the one I used to go to in Queens, oh my God, it was like the United Nations.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable. You wouldn't know the languages that are being, you're like, I have no idea.
Awesome.
That guy could be from like 7 countries. But the thing is that you're in an hour line for the
hour line part of it.
There is no downtime. At least around these parts.
No, you can't.
You kind of know your hot spots.
You can't have that. Yeah.
Not up there. You got no chance. Too many people.
I pick and choose. I know what I'm doing. But I'm an early morning guy. Like, I love walking in. I like walking into Publix at 7:30 in the morning. There are very few people there. Most of them are old, and it's all lit up. You feel it instantly puts you in a good mood. You're free to peruse. Anyhow, the point of me mentioning that was this morning I made the coffee. And my wife's getting ready to walk out the door. She has to leave very early to get to she works in the school system. So, she's got to be out the door. And I always do the coffee. I do the kids' lunches. I'm the first one up. And I like it. I'm not complaining. I like it. But I realized we were out of butter. And I was like, man, you have failed. You have failed this household.
A half a stick of butter.
How are we not?
Melted.
How are we not? What are you doing? That never gets by me. That never happens. So I realize I've got this small window before it's like right when Publix is going to open and before the kids are walking out the door and my wife is going to work. I'm like, I got about a 15-minute window if I make a go of it right now. So I already knew it was glorious outside from having walked the dogs.
It's a special kind of a day.
It was a glorious morning.
Everything but golf. The wind would have been a little much today. But walking, being, Wow.
Yeah,
what a morning
right?
we had here.
Right. So I walked out and I went, man, this is okay. Now let's make that emergency butter ride with the windows down to get even more of this fine morning.
All right.
Oh, this is good, right? So I'm in a good mood. And I'm flying down the road to head to my local Publix, and there we go. I pull in. There's nobody in the parking lot. It's just as they're opening. I've got my window. Here we go. And this is what made me smile. Clearly, I think, if not, my guy got started early. Clearly, this guy just got done working an overnight in some form of construction. He had the outfit on. It was a glow-in-the-dark vest that he was wearing to go with the boots and all the things. So he is just getting off of work. The rest of the world is going to work. It is a Friday. It is a Libations Friday. And there's something hilarious about seeing a guy walking out of Publix at 7 a.m. with a 12-pack whistling.
Oh, yeah. All right.
My man had one of those to-go subs and a 12-pack and was going on its way to his car at 7 a.m. Beautiful breeze. Sun's barely up. I'm like, look at my man. He's about to have a good morning, which for him is his night. I don't know, but he's loving life.
That music. I'm gonna play CFB 26.
I'm gonna be up
Windows
till noon.
open. Yeah, I'm gonna stay up late till like noon.
Till like noon and go back to bed. Yeah, it was hilarious. I wanted to stop him and take a picture. Like I wanted to say, hey, buddy, I want to take a picture with you. This is so good. There he was, and it was the banquet beer. 12 bottles of the banquet beer, just strolling out. It was awesome. Whoever you are, buddy, I doubt you're a listener. You might be in bed right now. It's late for you, I think. But that's a morning.
I'll have to check the podcast report and see what we have 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. downloads. Might be him. We keep him company during work.
It made me, I was chuckling as I walked into the Publix. I was getting looks. It's like, my man. Glow-in-the-dark vest, work boots, jeans, 12-pack, big-ass sub. I was like, it's early, and I was processing it all. Like, That would be something you'd see maybe on a Saturday morning for a noon kickoff.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, on your way to a tailgate.
Nah, that satisfaction of a long day's work. Sometimes it's a long night's work. That's good stuff. I like the gusto in the step.
It was awesome. It was great. I was proud of him. I did get back, Brett. I got back with that damn butter, and I made those bagels for the kids with that butter, Kerrygold, and I lathered it on. The kids were none the wiser. My wife was none the wiser. None of them knew that I had made an early morning Publix run, got in and got out at 7:02 a.m., and was good to go.
I learned something on the drive in today because immediately my head went to, you must have briskly made your way to the grocery store through the parts of your neighborhood near Georgia, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
Good pace on the automobile?
Yes. Why?
So on the way in today, I was coming up Duval, and guy got popped by FDLE. I didn't realize they could pull you over. I thought that was only TPD in Leon County and Stadies.
Was he being crazy? I mean, you don't
yes,
know.
No, it was good. Actually, I saw him in the rear view. I moved to the other lane, anticipating before the cop ended up going about 70 down this road to go flag him down.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Go get him.
But a straight up white and blue FDLE car. I didn't realize they could do that. I thought that was...
I assume any kind of law enforcement officer can pull you over at any time. So let's just keep doing what we're doing here. We're good.
Gator over their face or otherwise.
Yeah, I don't want to test any of it. Like just go, just like whatever. But yeah, man.
Oh, but he went and got it, and he was having enough because the guy in front was doing the weavy thing, and it was a little dangerous. So clearly, this guy, he's about 1,000 feet back.
Yeah,
he's like,
no, sir. We're not doing
and I
this.
said, all right,
there we go.
Go get him.
Go make him happen. Go make it happen. Yeah, I'm gonna look now. I'll just tell you this. Today, when I get home, I'm gonna open up that fridge and look at that butter and feel a certain way about it because it's gonna remind me of that 12-pack of that guy and the mood he was in to start a weekend off right. I don't know. He may have to work tonight. He may have to work tomorrow. I don't know.
Somebody suggested he might have been going to work this morning, and he's like, it's Friday. We're going to have a good day at the site.
Fellas, when we finish up the project today, there's a little something waiting on you in the cooler. I did us right. We've got multiple subs, and the banquet awaits. Let's get to everybody. You're right. It could have been that. It could have been that. But he was in too good a mood. Usually when you're on your way to work, you're not whistling. This was I'm about to pop open one of these beers kind of whistle. To me is what it was. Hey, reminder real quick while I got a chance before I forget. The entire month of October they're doing this. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing wants you to have clean gutters, clearly. They're like, hey, man, check it out. All you got to do is call them. Tell them you heard right here on the radio, right here on 93.3 FM, right here on the Jeff Cameron Show that you can get your gutters cleaned for free, and they'll make it happen. There you go. Just like that. And there's no catch. It's any time in the month of October. Call them today. Free gutter cleaning, no obligation, no cost, no surprises, just a free gutter cleaning. They'll arrange it. They'll come out to your house. They'll make it happen. You're good to go. That doesn't suck. So call Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing today and get your gutters cleaned for free. And if your house is like my house, then you need it because I got all these pine needles that have piled up in my gutters recently.
I'm telling you, keep the secret between us and you out there on the road. If you have one of those neighborhood cul-de-sac Christmas parties and you don't know what to get for a gift, do this, call this number, and then wave to your neighbors. Merry early Christmas!
You're welcome, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Can't wait for the scotch you're going to give me. Even trade.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hour number 2, I don't know. Hey, what was the head-to-head with me and my mom last week? Do you know?
Ooh.
Did you look it up? We'll look it up.
She won the Bucs game. I know that much.
She did win the Bucs game. She won the Jags game, right? So she got those 2, and I think I got the other one.
She had...
Yes, she went 2-1 against me last week, I think. We'll double-check it. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. For my homeowner friends out there, you know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good, get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right, get a new roof, going to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Let me tell you, as a homeowner, I used to dread every rainstorm. Water would flow around the outside of my home, my yard, and the gutters would clog and overflow. I'd have to make sure I had buckets and duct tape ready every time. Then I called New Vision Gutters, and I can see the difference. Now I sleep through the storms. No puddles, no leaks, no clogs, no stress. If you've got water problems, trust me. Call the pros at New Vision Gutters, where they take pride and passion in protecting your most valuable possessions. It's the MVP treatment and the best call I ever made.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 373031.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com. For the man who's not afraid to live a little off course, thewaywardgent.com.
pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Looking ahead to the weekend in football, let's start with college football. Florida State will host Pitt coming up on Saturday. Pitt actually leads the all-time series 6-5, but Florida State has won 2 of the last 3 contests. Florida football, they're going to face its 4th top 10 team and 3rd top 5 opponent this year, as they are set to take on Texas A&M on Saturday. Central Florida goes to Cincinnati. South Florida football, they are going to be in action coming up this evening. The number 24 team in the nation will be on the road taking on North Texas. NHL hockey yesterday, the Tampa Bay Lightning lose their season opener, falling to Ottawa 5-4. While the Panthers are now 2-2 to start the season, they beat Philadelphia 2-1. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Don your Lederhosen, raise your steins, and join the fun at this year's Elder Care Oktoberfest.
Elder Care Services, in conjunction with Millstream at Cascades, is hosting its 27th annual Oktoberfest on Sunday, November 2nd at the Marriott AC Hotel at Cascades Park.
Oktoberfest features German food, unlimited beer and wine samples, pretzels from Link Sausages and Beer, a silent auction, and entertainment.
Tickets are $50 for general admission and $100 for VIP. Proceeds benefit Meals on Wheels and other services for seniors in Leon County.
Elder Care Services has proudly served the community for over 55 years, helping seniors remain independently living in their own homes while reducing social isolation.
So bring on your best polka and join us on Sunday, November 2nd from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Marriott AC Hotel at Cascades Park.
For more information or to purchase Oktoberfest tickets, call Elder Care Services at 850-921-5554 or visit eldercarebigben.org.
Broadcast Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Appreciate it, Lucy Goosey. Oh, hey, I see that you guys are in here. Just pulled it up. We'll talk about my boys' game tonight, huh? It's Nathaniel Hornblower, my man, fellow MCA fan. Mariana safety play is, whoo, boy, you can get over the top on him. Well, that'd be cool. Hopefully it'll happen.
I'm going to set the prize picks. Free love for them. There we go. It's Free Love Friday. The Cameron receiving yards total at 81.5 yards. 81.5 yards because of that nugget of insight from Mr. Hornblower. Also give me a chance to say Hornblower.
I just never know because Leon is, not very good and they don't block very well. So it's you never know. You never know. Bryce is having a great year. I'm excited for him to be back healthy and to be productive, but the team is a bunch of good kids, but they just struggle to block it up, and it's unfortunate. So, there are games where I'll watch and I'll go, well, they could have done something here, except for that dude's getting hit inside of a second. So all of that doesn't matter. We'll see. Jeff, are you annoyed about the time zone differences for these games? Are you talking about when Bryce is on the road?
Yeah, Panhandle games. Well, you didn't have to go to that one because you didn't play, but you went to.
There was the very
Fort
first
St.
game
Joe.
of the year or whatever it was that I didn't have to go to.
Yes, Life Spectator. Yes, prop bets for high school games.
Yeah.
Get with it.
But that's it. I mean, I've not missed any of the other games. I don't know. I assume, Swiss, what I do is I just Fridays are spoken for. Whether it's at 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock my time, Fridays are spoken for high school football and my son. So I'm going to be there either way. I just get my mind right. Let's go.
It appears your Halloween game is, in fact, on campus.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to verbally commit to that game.
There you go.
Senior night. Oh, you get to go on the field.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it. Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Bring the Kleenex.
I've been good about this.
Did they do roses for the parents?
I'm
Will you
sure.
bring rose for mom?
I'm sure they do.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Now you'll have me thinking about it.
Sorry.
Well, listen, we Mom and I, if you will, his mother and I, there's all these check marks along the way of a senior year, and you're already dealing with that. Ira and I had talked about it because his daughters have all graduated high school and hell, for that matter, too. I think have graduated from college. But where he'll be like, oh, yeah, then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. And, yes, there's some of that already where I'm like, wow. That really more than anything was the first day of school where I was like, how the hell did we wake up and you're a senior? How did that happen? But I've been pretty good about it. I've been pretty good about, honestly, just kind of taking it in stride and understanding what it represents and just being okay with it. I don't know that that'll be the case for the final game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something right now. I was just excited that he was able to rehab through the entire summer. That was a devastating injury. I wasn't sure. They weren't sure he'd be able to play this year. So watching him do that, I got to give Adam Farrow credit. His Titus helped Bryce a lot with his rehab, and he got to work with both Farrows, and he got to work with some folks over there that helped him a lot, and so prepare him for this season as best he could. But we don't know till you get hit, and then he was able to come back and did a good job.
Do you remember your senior night as a player? Is that a memory that locks in as something of significance? And remember, your mom is likely watching right now, so the answer is yes.
Yeah, I do remember it, but I also remember it was what I liked about it was that it was cold. We actually had a cold. We actually had a cold game. Yeah, and you didn't get that in St. Pete very often. So it was a cold game that I can remember and being really pleased about it. Yeah, I hadn't thought it. I you know what I remember more? I remember at the end of the game, coming off the field, we won, and I was looking at the scoreboard, and the smell of the grass, and I took it in, and that was one of those. You rarely do it when you're 17. You don't think about things that way. I do now. When I go Florida State, Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma, I tell this story a lot. I went to that game with my dad and another dear friend, and we walked that campus together, and I went to some places that we went to Oklahoma City. We went to the family farm in Okemah. We went to see some places that I remember as a kid, and that side of my family being the Creek Indian side of my family, and seeing all of that. That was cool. And I really recognized what it was. And going into the stadium against Oklahoma, now I didn't know we were going to get killed, but it was a gorgeous day. It was, stunningly beautiful. And it hit me. And I remember saying, well, take a look around. Remember this. Know who you're with. Take that all in. And really from that point on, I do a pretty good job at our home games. Like, I don't know about tomorrow at noon against Pitt that it'll be true, but
you'll love that helmet in the sun, though.
Our
helmet against their mustard yellow helmet. Yeah,
but I do. I think this comes with age, certainly, and experience, and just living and losing and all that stuff. You do learn to appreciate things. So I do spend a lot of time. I love college football, man. When we go on the road, anytime I cover Florida State or just go as a fan, even. I'm always very aware of my surroundings, very aware of the people I'm with, very aware of the weather and the stadium and the traditions and all of that. That's one of the things about college sports in general that always is a draw for me, is that it is separate from the NFL or pro sports, where a lot of times you root for a team because they're from the city that you grew up in or whatever it is, but it's very corporate. It is what it is, and whereas college, there's a bit more of a obviously a tie, although that's changing too, but it's still there. There's enough of that tradition that's still there.
I can remember my first Florida State-Florida game. It was a noon kick in 2006. We lost 21-14. That was Chris Leak was the quarterback for them, and Percy Harvin. Buster Davis nearly delivered a very serious injury to Percy Harvin over the middle. I think it was in the second half of that game. And that was the first time I'd seen those two teams play on the field. It had always been on television. And I just remember the contrast in the uniforms. I'll never forget that. In the morning November sun, because you're watching them go through warm-ups at 11 and change. And it was something I'll never forget. And the other memory I have is because I grew up in that weird time when we had the game of the century in South Bend, and then we played them in the Citrus Bowl for the return match, Florida State and Notre Dame in 2014 here. The first time seeing Notre Dame run through the tunnel, I went, oh, my God. Because when I grew up in that time, it felt like Notre Dame was a natural rival. It wasn't. We just played them twice. But when you're 7 and 8, you think that these two teams always play against each other. And those are two moments. Oklahoma in 2011 here, everybody remembers that game because the sonic experience of being in the stadium.
It was fantastic.
And the fact that it was shaking underneath your feet. And Doak doesn't do that. Like, that doesn't happen like that ever.
Pretty rare.
But we all have those games where you remember the clash of the uniforms or the guys running out of the tunnel, and you're just like, oh my, there's that fight song that you've always heard on television. College can do that to you.
What's weird is when I was little and my dad would take me over to see the Bucs play, and, the big sombrero, we would go over there. I can remember the first time the Steelers came to town, the first time really every NFL team, because I was one of those kids that had the NFL bedspread, right? The comforter. So, and back when I was watching as a little kid, there were 28 teams. So, every one of those helmets was on my bedspread. And I don't know why. It was like I was checking boxes each year when we would go to games. If it was a new team, I'm like, oh, I know right where that is on my comforter. Like, I knew where that box was, that the Cardinals, and back then it was the St. Louis Cardinals. Or I knew that was the, Pittsburgh Steelers or the Dallas Cowboys or whatever. And yeah, it was something to see those uniforms in the sun that way. The first time you ever see the Bears in person is the first, if it's a sunny day, is the first time you realize that they're not wearing black. That is the darkest shade of blue known to man, that it's not black. But you can only see that in the bright sun. Otherwise, on TV, it looks black and orange.
It's a rich color. Yeah. It is a rich blue color.
It's really, really quite cool. There's little subtleties like that.
Yeah, the first Bucs game I ever went to, actually, I threw up the night before. I didn't report it because I was not missing that game. I knew my mom would let me go. And it was Bucs 49ers, 1997, opening game of the season. 110 degrees.
Ridiculous.
At Houlihan Stadium at the time.
Good old Houlihan.
And it was the first game in the pewter uniforms. We wore white, as we usually do in September, with the pewter pants, and we faced Steve Young and Jerry Rice and like all those guys.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
I was in awe. And then the first time I saw us play the Packers, too. It took years to do that. I always saw Vikings or Lions. I never saw the Packers come to town. It's almost like you don't know what to do for a second. You're like, this is real. I get to do this. This is so cool.
Yeah, because when you're really little, for me, unless you grew up in a college town, and I did not. So for most kids who grow up in a sizable city that has a franchise, your first love when it comes to football is pro football. Now, later it becomes college football once you go to college and all those things. A lot of times it does anyhow. But growing up in Tampa St. Pete, when the Bucs happened, that was like the biggest thing in the world. So to me, seeing those uniforms blew me away. It was only years later that I had just a passion for college football that swept over me. And then getting in this business and going to places like Notre Dame and going to a place like Michigan and going to a place. And now it becomes sort of, if I ever retire, I kind of want to make an annual trip. I don't kind of want to. I do want to make an annual trip. Me and a few friends were equally passionate about college football. Like, hey, let's go watch this rivalry or that rivalry. Let's go see Washington play. Poor Washington State's useless these days, but that would have been cool to watch.
Yeah, go to Eugene and watch Washington, Oregon.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I want to go to these different places because they're all unique. They all have their own traditions. Obviously, some are better than others, but listen, I've never seen a game in Madison, Wisconsin. I've been to Madison, Wisconsin. It's an awesome place, but I've never seen a game there. And they say that place comes alive on game day, that it's a lot of fun. And I'm always thinking about fall, perfect weather, leaves falling, sweaters, going to a game like that, hanging out, afterwards. Obviously, Wisconsin, whatever. They can lose 40-0. It won't mean anything to me. I just want to be in that community to see it because everybody says it's incredible. There's a lot of places like that, and they're up and down the coast, and you can find so many cool traditions that way. Yeah, that's why we love the sport. We did get a specific question about the team we love and cover and root for and want to see bounce back. James P. says, question for Jeff and Tom, is there a final score tomorrow that makes you think 10-2 is a real possibility? I don't know that there's a score tomorrow that makes me think 10-2 is possible. In a way that I don't already think.
That's interesting.
That's
because you think Florida State is worlds better than Pitt.
I think Florida State is significantly better than Pitt. Yes.
So therefore, a blowout would not change you and your opinion. If the offense racks up a ton of points and makes it look easy, it would change my opinion and make me believe in 10-2. So to me, it's like 49-10. You win 49-10 tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, okay. That tells me a lot of things about your mental. It also tells me how you can handle an aggressive opponent.
Well, I agree with you about the mental and about the possibility of having a very good season if they go out and right the ship and look locked in and focused and correct the wrongs and the things that have given them problems up to this point. And if they make it look easy, certainly you feel very good about the game after that game and the game after that game. But I think you would then recalibrate for the Clemson game because that will also be based on what does Clemson do between now and then. Do they keep winning? I don't put much stock in the Clemson win over North Carolina. I don't put any stock in the Clemson win over North Carolina. Everybody is housing North Carolina. Anybody with a pulse is housing North Carolina. So we'll see. Is Clemson okay? Did he get the locker room back? Are those guys focused? They're going to play well? That's a very different way to view that game in 4 weeks, but I don't know the answer to that yet, and I don't know there's anything we're going to do. It's going to be more about what I see Clemson do in the next few weeks. Do they play well? Do they look locked in? Are they, back to being what they kind of thought they could be preseason? Now, obviously, it could work the wrong way for us too. You go out there and win a game, Tom, in which you're sloppy, you don't play well, and you merely get by solely because you just have better players, and in the end, you're able to skirt past 23-20 or 17-14, and you look terrible doing it. Yeah, well, then I'll be very concerned about not just the Clemson game, but obviously the Florida game at the end of the year. And then I might even throw in, real concern about the possibility of losing to NC State at that point. And then all of a sudden you're staring at 5 losses, and that ain't going to get it done.
I could see a scenario by which tomorrow is a dogfight, but not that we play sloppy. Like Pitt has a couple of things that irk us from us stylistically. They don't match up very well. Like, there are some things that should present to Florida State tomorrow. Once again, because Pitt is so aggressive, that means that you're going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities in the passing game. That's not what we want to do first. But if you have a one-on-one with Deuce Robinson, are you not going to take it? It's the right thing to do in that moment. So you've got a chance. You hit on those, you play from in front, and Pitt won't be able to be so aggressive. Also, if you play at our tempo, Pitt won't be able to be so aggressive. They can't call a ton of blitzes if they have to be out there for 75, 80 plays. So I think that's going to have to play a lot into it. But let's just say that it starts the other way. Pitt gets a score and a stop, and now it's 7-7 after the first quarter. I can see where this thing goes the distance, and it's a pretty close game. I don't know that says that we should change our expectations about what we are. I could just see a dangerous result tomorrow. That's within the realm, I think.
Well, watching the West Virginia game, now they have changed quarterbacks, and we've talked about this, meaning Pitt has. But watching that West Virginia game and watching the way they choked that away, that's not a good West Virginia team. And obviously, you talked about the Louisville game. What a weird game that was. They give up 14 fourth-quarter points and really kind of...
You talk about game control. It's Pitt. It's Pitt's game. So you might say that they have a penchant for when something goes wrong. A lot of things go wrong for them because of the nature of the West Virginia result. And then also the Louisville, that they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory both of those times.
Yeah, the 2 interceptions from Holstein is another reason he's not starting for them right now. They really struggled to run the football, though, against Louisville. And I think if you're going to be that kind of one-dimensional against Florida State, you're going to have a problem. And that I don't think this is not one of Narduzzi's vintage clubs. This is not the team that I think that they were hoping they would have. Now, it'll be our luck that the kid at quarterback changes everything about their fortunes, and all of a sudden they do become the team that some thought could surprise in the ACC this year.
I think they've got decent enough receivers, not like, well, certainly we didn't think Miami was world beaters, except for Tony. We talked about Tony a lot last week.
You like the Hicks kid?
Yeah, I also like their concepts. The quarterbacks are looking in the right place to take advantage of one-on-ones downfield. Holstein did it, and this kid certainly does it. This kid only has one speed. It's fastball, fastball, fastball.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got the gunslinger mentality and you got some one-on-ones, and our secondary from a confidence standpoint isn't at its highest place, and we're having to play man-to-man from time to time, yeah, I could see some shots completed downfield for Pitt. Again, that doesn't mean that they're going to drop 30. It just, there could be some plays to be made out there for them tomorrow.
Well, I think I'm not saying that Florida State's going to win the game 40-7. I'm not even looking at it that way. I'm looking at it, you win the game comfortably, 31-20, 34-20, something like that. I'm fine with that. What I don't like is the sense that we're not appreciably better than many of the middling teams of the ACC from a talent standpoint. That's troubling to me. Struggling to get past that. This I'm going to use as a bit of a gauge. Being down close to the field and getting an opportunity to see size and speed matched up, where we're at, where they're at, what do those rosters look like? It'll be troubling if their roster is similar to our roster.
I think that's a totally fair observation. The one thing I would say is I don't know that the final scores tell the story about the way that their defense, Pitt's defense, is played. There's a chance that's actually a pretty good defense.
Well,
Louisville's a good offense, I think, right?
Yeah, they create havoc is what Pitt does. They bring a lot of pressure. They've been good against the run, very good against the run. They are in the top 10 in negative plays, creating negative plays defensively in the country. Now, again, it's like a little bit like us, where at the start of the Miami game, you could cite that Florida State had the number 1 offense in the country. You could, or you could point out that they scored a gazillion points against East Texas A&M and Kent State. and that perhaps those numbers are slightly skewed. And, I mean, Duquesne is one of the worst teams that anybody can play. We know that.
Yeah.
And BC is awful. So what's real about those numbers?
So Louisville put up nearly 400 yards, but the more important number is 4.6 yards per play. That's not crazy.
No.
That's nothing crazy. And honestly, if you watch that game, the only reason Louisville's in it is because of those turnovers, all three of them, 2 by the special teams and then 1 by the quarterback going in for a touchdown for Pitt. That opens the door for momentum to creep in, but that defense was dominating for stretches. Louisville was trying to run its offense, and they realized that they had to come out of what they wanted to do and call very repeatable, basic concepts in order to break Pitt out of it. This is an interesting test for me to see, is Gus going to be stubborn, or is he going to call things that are specific to Pitt? And I can't wait to find out the answer to that question tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're finding out a lot of answers tomorrow. We also want to know where their head's at after 2 straight losses. And so, we'll see the kind of vigor that they show up and fight with. We got to get to some wagering here with Mama. We'll do it here in just a moment. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Hey, everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Hey, Knoll fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Budget Blinds at Tallahassee is your local window covering experts. They do it all: blinds, shades, drapery, shutters, even home automation. And they'll be there with you from the design to the measuring to the installation. Budget Blinds is with you every step of the way.
Hello, I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Let us help you with your unique window treatment needs. Call us at 668-4835 for a free in-home consultation, or find us online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible, it also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Knowles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, rolling on Libations Friday, which means since we're in the second hour, we bring in Mama, who I think finally chipped away last week. We had the 3 Florida teams different, and my betrayal of the state of Florida led to her success. I think she won 2 and lost 1, so I was up 6, now up 5 over Mom. Is this the beginning? Is this where it turns? Remember last year, I was cruising right along, and then all of a sudden, she got hot. Cue it up. Let's fire it up.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, I will. And Mama, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to the slate this weekend, and let's see where we're at. You rightfully went with our beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what a thrilling victory that was in Seattle.
It was a thrilling. I know it was. It seems like that's the only victories we have lately are thrilling.
They all seem to come down to the end, yes. And luckily, Baker's playing better than almost anybody in the league right now. And then, of course, you also had the Jags, and that.
Yes, I did. I told Tom you fell off the Jacksonville bandwagon a little too soon.
I'm still on the Jacksonville bandwagon. I just figured the Chiefs would win the game, and I'm happy for the Jags, I suppose. And then the Dolphins did you wrong. I know. Yeah. So
I know. And last night, I mean, it's kind of like the Philadelphia. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, it was cool to watch.
Game. That was crazy. And you know what? That game wasn't even close.
You know, the Eagles, dating back to the game you and I attended together, you go back to the second half of the game against the Bucs. The Eagles were terrible. They did nothing in the second half against the Bucs. They quite literally had 0 offensive completions, a forward pass. They didn't catch one. They couldn't run the ball in the second half. They really didn't do anything. The next game, they didn't do anything. 4 quarters there. And then 4 quarters last night where they didn't do anything. They've got 10 straight quarters, in particular on offense, where they've been terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't quite understand what's going on with them. But, yeah, I told Tom, if we hadn't dug ourselves such a hole in the first half and, we hadn't had that kick blocked and then Baker hadn't thrown that interception down there on the wherever he was close to the goal line, I mean, I think we could have won that game.
Well, we didn't. So here we are. Let's get to these games. And right off the bat, you and I started 0-1. We both had the Eagles, obviously, but the Giants and Jacksonville got it done. Now, Denver and the Jets, 9:30 a.m. I doubt very seriously there are going to be too many people watching this game.
I probably don't believe I will. I picked Denver.
Rightfully so. Arizona at Indianapolis.
I took Indy.
The Chargers at the Dolphins.
Oh, the Chargers.
Yeah, although I'm worried that's a spot, much like we see some of these other teams that are all beat up due to injury.
Yeah, I know.
It could be interesting. But
I know Miami, I guess they could win that game, but I don't know. I just feel like the Chargers surely. Well, we'll see. I mean, just like I thought for sure last night, I didn't even think that was a hard pick last night at all. And little did I know.
New England at the Saints.
New England.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Dallas at Carolina.
Dallas.
Seattle at Jacksonville. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Jacksonville.
Me too. Seattle's actually favored in that game. That strikes me as interesting. They're a 1.5 favored on the road. The Rams at Baltimore.
Oh yeah, I think the Rams. Poor Baltimore. They're struggling right now.
Yeah, screw them. Let's go Rams. Tennessee at Las Vegas.
What now? What did you just say about Las Vegas? Who are they playing? Oh, Tennessee. Las Vegas.
Yeah. Ugh, what a hideous game.
I know, isn't that a terrible game?
Yeah. Cincinnati at Green Bay.
Yeah. What's his name now? Flacco's over there, right?
It doesn't make a difference. You're going to pick Green Bay. Don't worry about it.
Pick Green Bay. Yes, I am.
All right. San Francisco and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Detroit at Kansas City. Here's a chance for dissent. What do we got here?
I got Detroit.
I got Kansas City. All right.
Okay.
Now, I'd like to be wrong, to be quite honest with you, because I'd like to continue to see Kansas City falter. But at home at night,
I think it's a coin flip. Actually,
it's a good game, fun game. It's a really good game for us to be able to watch on a Sunday night. Monday we have 2 games. So Buffalo's at Atlanta.
Buffalo.
And the Bears are at Washington.
Washington.
Okay, so we're done. We got it.
Oh, we got one. Oh, well, we both had Philadelphia, but we only got the one different, the KC-Detroit game.
I thought that might be the case this week. I thought it was pretty standard, pretty straightforward this week, and I just wondered if you would go out on a limb or not, but there we go. We got just the one.
I got Detroit. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm rooting for Detroit, and hopefully our Buccaneers will do well. I know they've got a couple of injuries. I don't know if Bucky Irving is coming back or not. And then
he's not.
I think Godwin is out. So
Godwin is out. Bucky,
they're used to him being out. So I think we should be okay.
Yeah, Godwin is out and Bucky is out as well. The Bucs still have a decent amount of injuries to deal with. San Francisco's also injury riddled. So there we go.
Yeah, so we'll see. Okay, hopefully our Heat will get them.
All right, Bob. Love you. I'll talk to you later.
It sure got us.
Yeah, it didn't get Philadelphia.
No, but it should have. It almost did. All right. Listen, now, who do you guys play this weekend?
Pitt.
Yo, Pitt. Okay, that's right. I knew that. Okay. And Bryce is playing some kind of, something county tonight.
No, Mariana.
Oh, Mariana. Oh, what did I think? Okay. All right, wait a minute. I gotta check. I thought he was playing sometime. Is that next week that he plays that county?
I think it's like 3 weeks, Mom.
Oh God! All right, I thought I had this scheduled down. Well, anyway, I'm gonna text him and wish him good luck.
All right, bye, Mama. Love you.
All right, I love you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
She's thinking of the last game
Taylor
of the year.
County.
Yeah.
I only know that because I just
pulled up the schedule as well.
I'm going to that one. Yeah, Halloween night. Sounds good.
Tony mentioned something here in the chat, and I agree with him. Why do they keep doing the 2 Monday Night Football games? What's going on with that? I don't like it.
What is the deal with the 2 Monday night games?
I don't like it for real. It's silly. We don't need 2 games an hour apart. I mean, we're all going to work on Tuesday. Just give us the 1 game so we can decide to go to bed or not. I don't need 2 because if one's good and the other's bad, it eliminates my chance to go to bed early. Then I got to stay up because one of them's good. I could just go to bed on both of them and say, screw it, but that's not the way I am. I watch my football. If there's a good game on, I'm going to watch it. I was glued to Tulane last night. I was glued to the baseball we had it going on last night. I had hockey. I had baseball. I had football, college and pro. What a night.
I had a hard time finding the Lightning game is what I did. This new app is insane.
It's not a good app.
No, and it won't let you screen mirror to your television after you pay the $65 for the season. It blocks that.
Which is nonsense.
That's crazy. I'm going to have a talk with our guy who sent us welcome gifts. Thank you, Adam. Sorry, didn't say thank you.
I've yet to see these welcome
no,
gifts.
you've got a welcome gift 2 coming to you.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
You're going to love them.
All right.
I know.
Yeah, but can he
but
get
I spoke it out. Well, he sent it to me.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, can we get the viewing worked out here?
It is insane. Yes.
What's the NHL doing? Get it together, everybody.
Well, that's the FanDuel Bally bankruptcy nonsense.
Frustrating. It's just the 1 game difference, Detroit and Kansas City. Who would you have taken in that game?
Kansas City.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. There's several good games this weekend. Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A large wastewater spill backed up traffic Wednesday evening on Capitol Circle Northeast. A southbound outside lane at 1876 Capitol Circle was closed on Wednesday for the water main leak repair. The lane was reopened by Thursday morning. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection said that the leak released about 12,000 gallons of wastewater, which flowed into two separate stormwater catch basins along CC&E, where crews were able to make successful recovery. The Florida DEP said the area has been cleaned, disinfected, and deodorized, and there was no impact on surface waters. The 17-year-old suspect, Jakari Williams, charged in connection to a shooting that occurred on I-10 in Tallahassee late Friday, was denied bond yesterday morning during the first court appearance. Williams' mother appeared at the court date, appearing confused why he was in adult court. She said her son is mentally ill, and she apologized on his behalf. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 74. Northeasterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows level off around 62. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. A blend of clouds and sun tomorrow. Highs around 79. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 69 degrees.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood. Wow, good days. So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played. Kind of like the bikes we built. Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. And they still try to break the rules, right? Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life. And the best game you ever played was that game. Never been a better one. Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff? I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
We got to do both solving for the future and red zone. We got to do it right here, because in that last hour, we're going to get into the game itself with a little bit of that bonus hour. Will be Tom and I doing, in essence, the pregame show, the Warchant Game Day show.
I suppose if we need extra time, the red zone is a very pregame friendly segment too. So in the event that we need it, we can do that too.
So we'll do that. But in the interim, let's do what we like to do with our partners at ISF. That partnership has been fruitful for all. We're excited about it. We love working with them. That's a great company. And whether it's IT modernization, strategy and operations, transitional organizational transformation, all that stuff, public sector managed services. They do a lot of stuff here locally in Tallahassee. 40 different states, in fact, doing a bunch of stuff is ISF, and we appreciate them. Let's solve for that future, and we'll talk about Florida State solving for their future. What are you most concerned about? And I'll form our conversation accordingly. Most concerned about over the course of the last two losses? Something that stands out to you that has you slightly concerned as we move forward? What would prohibit this team from going on to be a 9-win team? People have said before, and we were talking about this earlier in the week, you and I talked about it on headlines. I think really at all the various outlets, we've talked about this. It's sort of, all right, now that we know what we know, now that we know that, hey, just because we beat Alabama doesn't mean we're a national championship contender, doesn't even mean necessarily that we're a playoff contender. But now that we've lost to Virginia in double overtime on the road and then got largely housed against Miami, what does it say that we are and what's possible? Would 8-4 be satisfactory? Of course, it depends on how it looks. Would 9-3 be reasonable? What do you? Let's incorporate all of it. What do you say we are, and what are you most concerned about?
I think we're a good football team that I hope still has the confidence and the investment tomorrow to prove that again and regain the confidence that goes with being good. I think this is a good team, especially on offense. The concern is safety play. I'm back to the preseason. It's confidence and safety. You started to see that a little bit against Virginia. Should I stay? Should I go? And that obviously gets magnified because you don't have a great pass rush. So those guys are having to cover for longer than they should.
It's my biggest concern.
So you could list, and I would be here for that agreement because it's a cycle here. But just watching the confidence that Earl Little is playing with, or lack thereof, versus the way he played the last season, even when he was a bull in a china shop, or the Alabama game earlier this year. He was making mistakes at 100 miles an hour. He looks in between right now. And obviously there are some other guys in the secondary with Ashland Barker out. That is hurt, specifically the safety group. I'm a little concerned.
Is he back for this game? That was the word.
Yeah. If it's trending that way, that's wonderful news.
I think it's just really important.
You got a guy with a rifle for an arm against safeties that are lacking confidence a little bit. That would be my concern in this moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking big picture concern as opposed to micro concern.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all right, because they kind of, those two things are actually tied together. You really realize what you have in Ashland Barker and what he does for that secondary and the way that they play. I'm with you on that. I've always liked that kid a lot. So when he got his chance, I was happy for him, and I was rooting for him selfishly because I told anybody that would listen that I thought he was going to be a good player.
He plays heavy. He plays the game heavy.
Yeah, and he's got some what for to him. I like that kid a lot. You're right about the indecisiveness. Secondary concerns are really not solely located in the safety position. I need Jerry to be better.
He does need to be better. Now, we just don't need to leave him out there in man. We had that discussion last week. It was like, is this something we feel comfortable with these guys?
Well, I learned my lesson, Tom.
Are we talking Rondé Barber against, remember Rondé Barber in the slot versus Rondé Barber playing outside man-to-man? That's why Brian Kelly was on the Bucs.
Yeah.
Because he could play man-to-man.
I learned my lesson. I thought Jerry could do better than he did.
When they played more traditional to their style against Virginia, they generated a couple interceptions with coverage. They were looking for the football. They were downhill. Like I think the corners had a bad day against Miami. Well, we all know this, but I don't know that they did against Virginia as much as they did against Miami. The safeties both times. I'm going, all right, guys.
Yeah,
we need you.
Yeah, not ideal. And then my other concern is what you correctly highlighted there, which is that we really struggle to generate a pass rush. Certainly traditionally, and so that's problematic, and I don't think that's going to get better. This is going to be an Achilles heel for this team. I thought it hurt us big time against Carson. He just sat around and took his time and waited for guys to come open. And when they have the kind of speed that they do, you're going to have a problem on your hands.
And they also ran a lot of quick game as well. But when they needed those moments to wait outside of one or two, you had a couple where you get to him, one of which I think actually is going to be an interception. That sucks. But it wasn't all day, and that makes a difference. You talk about the game slowing down for a quarterback, even a veteran. If you hit him early, he might make a couple of decisions where you go, Carson, what are you looking at? But he's sped up. Tommy played the game totally sped up in his ears, between his ears. Carson, calm as a cucumber.
I will tell you also that, again, when they were able to confuse Alabama at times. Defensively, I'm looking at Live Spectators questions. They were able to confuse Alabama some. Also, remember the difference between a quarterback that has started a gazillion games like Carson Beck and Ty Simpson was the pre-snap. Understanding what you're looking at, understanding where your outlet is, understanding where your check down is, understanding schematically what they're trying to do to you. I think Carson Beck was a problem for us because A, they keep him clean. Their offensive line's better than Alabama's offensive line. Secondly, he's a veteran quarterback that has seen it all. He's played in big spots on the road in that league, in the SEC, whereas Ty Simpson had not done any of that. And so I thought that the atmosphere for the opening game was a tough one for a kid making his first real start. And I thought we run a kind of defense and where you bring pressure from a lot of different places. And I thought their tackle did a poor job. Their all-world tackle Proctor did a terrible job in that game. He allowed for 6 pressures, 2 sacks. In that moment, I think the kid got rattled a lot, was kind of caught betwixt and between. And since that time, they've been able to, protect him a little bit better. And now you see he's really emerged as a very good passer, and they're utilizing his legs more with intentionality. They also got their starting running back. And so that certainly helped. I think him being out against Florida State helped us as well. So just different looking games. And Miami's offensive line is very, very good.
Yeah, that's part of it. I would also say that you simplified your attack for Miami because you wanted to stop the run. So pre-snap wise, he knows a lot better than Simpson does, not just because he's more experienced, but also because you had 4 guys with their hands in the dirt for a lot of that first half because you're setting the tone that you're coming up to stop the run. It's like, Jimbo used to say about bringing 2 tight ends out in the field. There's only so many things you can do defensively when we bring jumbo personnel out there. It simplifies the look for the quarterback. That's something that when you commit to it, it's a lot easier. They also didn't blitz a lot against Virginia, especially until the second half, because they thought, we'll play it back, keep it in front of us. This kid's going to throw us the football, which he did twice.
He did
in the first half. We'll get the lead, and then we'll play from in front. But it just didn't happen that way. Against Miami, they had to get downhill, stop the run. Way back when against Bama, it was neutral. It was neutral and full of the deception.
Also, the Bama situation, you trail 7-0, but from that point forward, you never trail again. And you're able to dictate terms. And that affects both sides of the ball. That affects play calling for them when they're trailing. It affects what you run on defense. It affects what you call on offense. There's a lot of effects that having the lead and playing from ahead have on the game. Whereas we kick a field goal against Miami. Okay, cool, 3-0. But it's 7-3 at the end of the first, and they're driving. And you, from this point forward, like I said on Monday, 14-3 felt like a wrap. You were correct to point out that statistically we should have had more points than 3 at the half, but we didn't. And I did not feel good about the matchup in the second half because physically we're not the better team.
Oh, there's no doubt. When you're going into the locker room, the thought is, oh, God, you better stop them with the third quarter kickoff. If they score here, now it's really, really done. But it felt on the brink. It should never feel on the brink at 14-3.
It will in this offense.
That's where I understand exactly what you're saying. But at the same time, I think you're running into that tunnel going, how the hell do we only have 3? We've been across the 50 like 4 times. What in the world, guys? And some of that is the turnovers, and some of that is, Miami's got pretty good players too.
So, yeah, our concerns are very similar. If we're going to solve for the future here, I think, again, the other way to look at it and to solve a problem as opposed to diagnosing one, which we just did, is you got to get Tommy to calm down. You got to get Tommy to play within this offense. I mean, Ira's right about this whole, look, dude, this isn't all on you. You don't have to make every play. We've had some other guys out here that can make plays, obviously. And you played well within yourself against Alabama. I don't know where it turned for you. I don't know if getting down early against Virginia caused you to ratchet up this sense of desperation, but you haven't turned it off since.
Yeah, working theory on that could be that the injury against Kent was significant enough that he feels like he's not working with his best pitch, which is his explosiveness in the backfield. And so that leads him to play a little bit left-handed, if you will. He's got to go. It's not about throw versus run. It's about, well, if I need to run, I can't explode and get away from this guy the same way I could against Alabama. And so therefore you play with a little bit of panic. Because he looked panicked in the game.
Yeah, but his decisions were terrible too. I don't know if that's brought on by panic or not. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't see it. Now, look, Tommy, the downfield passer, was not any good at BC over the course of 2 years. He wasn't. People love to point to last year. He didn't throw many interceptions. It's also a year in which he got benched because he was one of the lowest rated passers in the country for throws of over 15 yards. He wasn't any good. And so this is my concern when we brought him in. And it's when people got mad at me when I told you he was what he was. He's an average-ass quarterback with special talents to run the ball. He has unique gifts that when you can utilize them and play, even or ahead, can really cause all kinds of problems for a defense. However, if that's neutralized because of game time, score, field position, whatever it might be, and he has to throw the ball, especially throw the ball in the pocket with this rudimentary passing game, you're going to have a very hard time. And that's just the reality of our situation. So let's hope that we're playing while staying in touch. Is it 7 one way or the other? Fine.
And even you could even be down 10 if the score is 31-21 in the third quarter. You're still scoring on offense.
Yeah,
you're in rhythm.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you're stuck at 3 and now they score, like it's just, it all spirals at that point. But if you're within touch and you're producing as you're in touch, like let's say that we have a special teams problem tomorrow and they score in a short field, so they double up. And the double up is 21-14. They're ahead by 7, but they just scored twice in a row. Like, well, we've already hit 14. He needs to play with confidence. And he looked like he played with anything but confidence for the key stretches of the game, as in the first half last week. Even the reads. It wasn't just the throws down the field. It was the gives and the keeps.
That's the one that concerns me more.
Or the bailing of the pocket in the 3rd and goal. Like, that is indicative of your brain is moving
sped up.
fast.
Yeah, you're sped up.
Yeah,
he ran into pressures.
Yeah.
He ran into a lot of pressures. Like, those pressure numbers were astronomical for Miami, but a lot of them were him running into pressure. He did not do his offensive line any favors. There's no doubt about that.
That's why I have.
Damn it, man.
That's why. Look, was Gus perfect? By no means. And if you have problems on offense, that goes to the coordinator too. He's got to be able to anticipate or react to Tommy not having his whatever together in the first quarter, first couple of drives. But I have a harder time putting blame on Gus because I look in a lot of those key drives. I'm like, well, that's kind of open.
It's there.
Right.
We'll do Red Zone in the pregame show. That is the 3rd hour that we're about to do. Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas have everything you need for pool maintenance, chemicals, cleaners, pumps, vacuums, nets, covers, you name it, they got it. We already know about the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the entire city. Now they've added the cold plunge tubs to boot, and you can easily finance, making the hot tubs and the cold plunge tubs affordable for just about anybody. If you have an older hot tub, they'll come and haul that sucker away as well, and they'll give you a little something towards the next hot tub or cold tub that you may want, and put that in there for you. Pinch A Penny has a solution for whatever your needs might be. Removal, haul away, credit towards a new one. Forget about it. They make it easy. Go check them out. Having an amazing hot tub or cold plunge tub, as people who can speak say.
Cold plunge.
Go see them today on Greer Road. Find out for yourself how easy and affordable it really is. Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. If you're ready to relax, they're ready to show you how. Final hour forthcoming. Serve as a little Warchant game day. We'll look a lot closer at Florida State and Pitt. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life, your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together? You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
Florida man, you're all crooked again. What did you do to yourself this time?
Well, we were tailgating before the big game, and I had to defend Hank's honor. Some guy's arm wearing his gold chain and said, "Nice Gator fan." Can you believe that? Hank is a Seminole, thank you very much. But it all went downhill during Flip Cup. Hank was losing bad, and the guy starts heckling. He says, "Figures a Gator fan can't flip." The next thing I know, Hank's all over the table and going for the guy's throat. I tried to break it up. I grabbed a keg to end the chaos and bam, my back went out like a lawn chair in a hurricane. I didn't even make it to the game.
Let me guess, Hank went without you.
Yep, stormed the field after the win.
At Finn Chiropractic, they'll get to the root of your pain and deliver the solutions. Book your appointment online at finchiro.com, and you'll even get an online discount. Visit finchiro.com today and find your path to a pain-free tomorrow.
Honey, what are these mushrooms in our yard? Portobello?
Huh, let me take a look. Oh,
Shiitake.
I don't know, but our septic system is failing, and our whole yard smells like.
Should we try to cook these up and eat them tonight?
This is bad, Sheila.
Well, we better fix it soon, or we're going to be in deep.
Sheila, look, it's Crud Septic. Our prayers are answered.
Call Crud Septic Service today. Pump outs, installs, repairs. CrudSeptic.com. That's CrudSeptic.com.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
WVFD Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Jaguars coming off their win over Kansas City, 31-28, ending an 8-game losing streak to the Chiefs. The Jaguars a 1.5 favorite against the Seattle Seahawks at Everbank Stadium Sunday. The total has moved up to 47.5. Trevor Lawrence over-under passing prop bet, 226.5 yards, 1.5 touchdowns shaded to the under. Travis Etienne Jr.'s rushing prop bet over-under 62.5 yards. The Seahawks have won 8 straight road games. Florida Gators 7.5-point road dogs at Texas A&M tomorrow. Florida State laying 10.5 at home with Pitt. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Macy's Star Deals Week is back. It's one incredible week packed with epic savings on the best fall styles. That means luxurious 100% cashmere sweaters are now just $79.99. The latest beauty from Shiseido, Mac & More, $30 off every $150 you spend. Plus, exclusive online-only daily flash deals and so much more. It's the one week you really can't miss. Macy's Star Deals Week is going on now. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Your gutters aren't going to clean themselves, and this October is your one shot to get it done free. Call Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing before the month runs out, and your gutter cleaning costs you absolutely nothing. No obligation, no purchase. Just clean gutters before the next storm rolls in. But hurry, October's ticking away. Go now to guttersolutions.net. That's guttersolutions.net. Or call today. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. With us, it's personal.
Hey, Matt, did you hear Real Talk 93.3 has a brand new app?
Wait, finally? So I can take you, Jeff, Steve, and all the Real Talk contributors everywhere I go?
Yep, live shows, past episodes, news updates, you name it. It's all one tap wherever you are.
That's perfect. Now I've got Real Talk in the car, on the couch, even at the beach.
Download the Real Talk 93.3 app today in your app store.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we're just good to go. I forgot you told me that. Third hour, which is going to operate as a Warchant game day. We are live, so here we go. Let's make it happen. Florida State Pitt tomorrow. By the way, I can still see all you guys in the chat. This will be an interesting sort of Warchant game day, but we're going to mix and match. That way we're better able at Hotel Indigo for anybody that's coming by to say hello and partake in the delicious food that is there, along with the cold beverages. Perhaps, maybe, might I interest you in a Bloody Mary for an early game? Then we get a chance to talk with you. I really do appreciate that. I'm loving this tradition more and more. We have a couple of times a year where we do the actual physical pregame show on the 7th floor at Hotel Indigo. But more often than not, once we know injury status of players and things aren't going to change and all that, we can do that here right now. And that enables us to be able to get to meet so many more of you that listen to the show and get to know your stories. And it may seem like that's not something that you think is genuinely true. It is true. Tom and I love it. We love it because I've said over the years when I meet people who listen to the show, everybody's got an interesting story. But the other part of it is I'm in a studio. I'm in a bland studio with a mic. I don't get to see and interact with people that have listened to the show or are listening to the show. So any chance I get to kind of get to know who the audience is and the people we're talking to and with every day, I think it's a good thing.
We did a straw poll a couple of years ago just to see what folks preferred, and the overwhelming response that we got, it wasn't everybody, but the overwhelming response we got is we can watch on YouTube anywhere. We'd like to talk to you about the game.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give that a shot. So we gave it a spin a couple of years ago, and it really stuck. But, for weekends like last week, we need to be on live for a little bit.
And it was fantastic.
And it was great. Yeah, absolutely.
Florida State hosting Pitt, as you all know, tomorrow at noon. It is the first time since 2020 that Florida State has faced Pitt. Did you realize just the second time since Pitt joined the ACC? We all remember the first, 2013, yours truly walking through the door there in Pittsburgh with my father, soaking wet, a deluge as we walked across the park to the bridge to where the stadium is. And the next thing I knew, thanks to Earl, the great Earl.
Mr.
Earl, who had given me like a 60-year-old Florida State shirt to wear, and I did.
If I recall correctly, his birthday is around. It's in football season. It's coming up. He would be pushing 100 at this point.
Wow. Yes, he definitely would be. By the way, just so all of you, we get the logistics out of the way here. It seems weird to me that this is only the first time that we've hosted them since 2020, and only the third time that
It'd have to be the fourth, maybe the third home game.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's got to be home game.
Yeah. It's crazy
because we played them a couple years ago with no receivers up there in their barn.
That's true. Yeah, it's the home game. Hey, we got lucky here. Dave Pash is really good at his job. I like Dusty Dvorak, so that's who's coming to be the game. It's a good crew. Yeah, we got a good. Right. Yeah, we did. We got a good crew here. So here we are. Obviously, Florida State. Get back to seeing what we can do on offense here. The Noles have topped 400 yards of total offense in each of the last 4 games. The program's longest since a 5-game stretch going back in 2023. But the fourth quarter allowed for some of that, and not some of it, almost 200 yards of it, and it felt pretty empty. So we'll see. Now in the bulk of the game, when the game is in the balance, let's see if this offense can get back to looking the way it did for most of the early season games, almost, in fact, all of the early season games, everything except for the Miami game. So let's get back to that. Then you'll feel better about the games moving forward, and you'll just give credit where credit's due. Miami's good. They got a lot of talented players. We moved the ball up and down the field against Virginia. That's not why they lost the game. So
it's something we've talked about all this week and a little bit today as well. It's, to me, the largest key to see if Florida State has gotten over the hump is beyond the commitment level and the intensity. It's snap the ball, Tommy, and he's got to throw. Is he looking in the right spots? Do we have quick outlets for him to get rid of the ball? Quick decisions. Move. Instead of dropping back and thinking. This is not that opponent with the way that they bring pressures. This is not that game. But I think that also gives you an opportunity to get some confidence back, because quick game should beget confidence. You don't have to think very much. Just see it, do it. And that would help this, I think, both sides of the ball. There's a lot of thinking been going on, a lot of hesitation been going on, or a lot of guys that are sped up in their brains. I think you can assign a little bit of one or the other to the offense and the defense. Let's see how Tommy looks today from a comfort standpoint, if they do him a couple favors schematically.
Do you feel a little bit of, or sense, I do, and is why I'm asking it, maybe this is rhetorical, a little bit of frustration right now from Tony, who I think is a combination mad at himself for a couple of things, but then also I think he's frustrated by some repeated mistakes, repeat offenders. There's a couple, I don't know specifically who, but I have a guess that there are a few guys on this defense that have made the same mistake in back-to-back games. And I think he feels like that had been corrected, and then it clearly wasn't. And so now we're still talking about alignment issues. Yeah, I sense his frustration. You watch him talk, and you can tell he's not happy with the way things are going right now.
He shouldn't be, yeah, because I think the failures of the last two losses are for different reasons, but it doesn't matter. They're still failures. And so anybody's patience would run thin in that situation. I think if we didn't win the Alabama game, we would all be more patient with where this team is right now. But once you win it, it becomes zero-sum. It becomes like a playoff or bust feel out of nowhere. And that makes the failures at Virginia really tough to stomach. In general, they already would be, but beating Alabama to start the season,
sure,
that ratchets up the stakes of that loss. And then in Alabama, where at the end of the three quarters, you don't have a chance. That's not how you drew it up. That's not how you felt before the game kicked off. And a lot of that is on the defense, but I think you have shared responsibilities the last 2 weeks. It's just that defensively for Tony, he's dealing with a group that's growing. But when we beat Alabama, everybody was done with the growing talking point. It was that we've arrived. We've grown. We're fine.
He made it happen in record time and with limited reps. It's a miracle.
And that's not so. No, there's some growing that needs to be done. The whole thing is when you lose two in a row and everybody was kind of feeling it, like we could be a part of that selection show again, and maybe we're a part of that 12-team invitational field. How are the players doing? How is their confidence? And you're going to get to know that pretty quickly, I think, today.
I would point out to those same players, and really to anybody else, college football sees a real balance this year in a way that we haven't in many years. I don't think there's a super team out there, maybe Oregon, maybe Ohio State, maybe Miami. But really, from there, when you kind of take a big step back and look at the big picture, you say to yourself, all right, is this team going to go to the college football playoff? Probably not. But give them a decision to make by going ahead and winning out, and you're 10-2. I just want to point out that you're not completely out of the college football playoff just yet. It may not seem likely.
Right. You need gobs of help.
You need some help. It may not seem probable in any way. I'm not trying to give false hope. I'm just merely stating you're not completely out of it yet. And as long as you keep winning games and hang around, you might get some of the chips to fall where they may in your favor.
This is where I hear the fan retort, say, I'm trying to win a game, win games. But I think if you win this one today, but here's why I agree with you. If you win today in such a way that you see confidence is fine, the operation's buttoned up, here comes the offense again for 550, something like that. Magically on Monday, you're looking at that schedule going, okay, all right, they still could get to 9 or 10 pretty easily here because I saw what I needed to see against Pitt. I hate using this word because Mike has overused it and beaten it to death, and his record after a loss isn't that great. But I do want to see the response out of this group today because I think they can actually do something about it. Last year's crew, who cares about the response? They they had real problems. This crew can actually still cause some damage if their confidence isn't shook. And I think that's what this game will tell us about them.
Most of this week, we've spent a lot of time talking about Florida State, their mindset, the bounce back, the need to make sure that they're buttoned up and get a win here against a team that they have more talent than, and they're playing at home. It's a chance to put the 2 losses behind you. Let's get to the getting. The fear, though, is that this Pitt team, and we've kind of talked about this angle as well, could have very easily won the 2 games that they lost. And that would mean that they would be coming in here undefeated and ranked. And we would be talking about this game very differently if that were so. Now, you might say, well, they didn't. Yeah, but those were some crazy self-inflicted, shoot-yourself-in-the-foot kinds of losses. And they benched one of the reasons they lost the game. So, it's interesting. What if, I guess I'm saying out loud, what if Pitt's good?
It would not surprise me if that defense is good. The offense is a mystery. You got a first-year quarterback making a road start. I mean, he could be great. He could be terrible. It could be a mixed bag. The defense is pretty good, but you can get them out of what they like to do with very specific things on offense. Quick throws, getting out on the perimeter with options. A simple swing pass ain't going to do it today. They will flock to that. They will get downhill, and they'll be physical. And they're going to challenge you anyway and demand a response out of you. They're not waiting around. Pitt is quick to punch guy on defense. You can hit big plays against that, but then if you hesitate for just a little bit, you can look lost and slow. They could be good on defense. I know the analytics love them, but they could legitimately be pretty good here.
Well, and they've got 3 really good wide receivers, and we were talking about that on the other side of the ball. I think they have 3 different guys that have over 100 yards receiving so far this year, and you've seen them, if you look at I was pulling up some of the numbers here, traditional sense, they're 10th in the country in passing yards per game. They're one of 13 teams to average over 300 yards passing per game. So they Holstein was turning the ball over and he got benched, but they were still trying to challenge teams down the football field.
Yeah, I know everybody talks about the West Virginia game, but the way they found a way to lose against Louisville is really hard.
Well, the West Virginia game too.
It's hard to conjure. But the one thing they do on offense with those receivers, they do get the ball downfield. The question today is schematically, do you have to stack against the run like you did against Miami? I would hope not. Like where you have to commit all sorts of forces to the line of scrimmage to stop Pitt's run. I don't think you need to do that. And if you don't, you're in a better position to handle the aerial assault from a freshman quarterback. But if they are able to establish the run, they were able to run up and down the field on BC, I suppose, who isn't? That would be the first sign of, wait a minute, that's a gain of 4. That's a gain of 6. That's another gain of 4. We kind of need to stop that part of it, because if you don't, then you're going to be susceptible to some more downfield shots like we were last week.
You know that Pitt, I don't know where I read this, but I put it down in my notes. It's a hodgepodge of reading everything I can about, the teams that we're playing from all the different sources. But I saw somewhere where Pitt hasn't given up a single point in the first quarter this year. Not one. That's crazy. That I didn't look. I didn't compare and contrast, but I would be willing to go out on a limb here and say, are they the only team in the country that's true?
That could be. I wonder, this is one thing I didn't really watch in the Louisville game. I was skipping play for play. But tempo-wise, I wonder if there's something to that as well. They're always going to play a few possessions, kind of like Georgia Tech last year in Ireland. You had one possession in the first quarter.
It's very frustrating.
I think everybody's going to try to do that against Florida State anyway, because they know more plays equals more success for Gus. That means Gus gets into a rhythm. You want to frustrate him by never giving him the football. But I would think if you have a stat like that this far into the season that you haven't given up a single point in the first quarter, that might be also you're trying to draw up 8 and 10 play drives. You're not trying to score in one.
What makes you nervous as you hear some of these stats? I just gave you some in the passing game for Pitt and them challenging your secondary down the football field. The fact that they don't give up points early. You're coming off of a loss. It's a sleepy nooner. There's just some elements in play here where you worry that you get off to a poor start and you wonder where their head's at. Don't know that to be the case, and they may not get off to a slow start. Maybe Florida State comes out and does something that nobody's been able to do against Pitt this year and score and play. Again, I'm going to have a very broken record sound to me in these pregame shows for our remaining games, because I'm going to talk about the real need for this offense, constructed as it is, being good where it is, but lacking in other areas that we all know. You've got to play, typically, if you want to feel good about things, from in front. And that has less to do with being front-runner mindset and more about what your offense is, which you can remain balanced. You can do the things you want to do so long as you're within touch. When you become a one-dimensional passing team because you're trailing and you get closer and closer to halftime, and that's the case, you begin to see that pressing. I think you'll see that, and the frustrations and the worry because they don't have a sophisticated passing game, and Tommy's not great at it. So, yeah, let's not let that happen tomorrow. This is just a fan moment. Like I could see a situation where all of a sudden you're going, a little 10-3 action midway through the second quarter. This is starting to get disconcerting.
The one thing, though, is let's say you're down multiple scores in the second half. If you have one of those moments, Pitt might be across the 50-yard line and they fumble and you pick up the ball. You see this more in the NFL, I feel like, than college. But they have this little mystique about them, about woe is me. When it goes bad, it goes really bad.
For Pitt, yeah.
Because if you think about it the other way, like we're talking about, how the hell did you lose that game? Well, if you've done it twice, and let's say that they're in pretty good position at some point in the second half of this game, it could be tied and they're driving, whatever it is. If there's a moment where the announcer says that could be a backbreaker for Pitt, that actually might be very much true. Sometimes that hovers over a sideline. And when you have a couple of inexplicable losses, if you can get them to feel like they're going to break, they might very well do so. That looks to be part of their character right now. But I know that they're coming down here facing, it's barely a ranked opponent, but it is a ranked opponent. And for them, this would be a landmark victory on their season.
Oh, don't start, Tom. I'm picturing a quiet stadium and the kind of quiet where you hear their bench. Woo! You're like, man, don't start.
Then you have the explosive play for 35 yards, and their guy goes down to injury. You go to a 3-minute timeout. You're like, I think we were actually about to do something here.
Yeah.
And now there's a false start out of the commercial break, and we play the game we've always played.
We're not playing that game. We're not doing that, damn it. When a tree lands on your roof and there is structural damage, a roofer cannot always repair that because it's structural. But with T-Spark, it's one call because you have a general contractor and roofer all in one. If you're looking to renovate your home, T-Spark can help with bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, outdoor additions, and more. T-Spark partners here with the Jeff Cameron Show. Give a call today for all your roofing needs, 850-766-1340. That's 850-766-1340. Or go to tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336, CCC 13312.
Hey, this is Jay Green from Hotel Indigo Tallahassee. Can I stop and say thank you? Thank you for telling your guests to stay with us. Thank you for hosting your corporate meetings and social events in our rooftop meeting space. Thank you for hanging out with us on FSU football game days. Believe it or not, this sales guy isn't selling anything. I just want to say thank you. But if you've never seen our rooftop and I can ever help, give us a call, 850-755-9011. We are Hotel Indigo Tallahassee. Welcome to our neighborhood.
Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Make this summer a Swain summer. Choose Swain Pools and Spas for all your regular monthly or weekly scheduled pool maintenance, repairs, restoration, and renovation. Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee's pool everything store. Whether it's a deep clean, a resurfacing, or a full refresh, Swain's team will have you swimming, not skimming, in no time. Make a splash this summer and have a Swain summer. Find out all the ways Swain Pools and Spas can upgrade and maintain your backyard. Online at swainpools.com. That's swainpools.com.
The next 3 free flow Azure spas will be available half price. First come, first served.
Swain Pools and Spas.
And right next to Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee Car Care, the only repair shop where you can take a dip while we repair your whip. Tallahassee Car Care, right next to Swain Pools and Spas.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
This week's Legacy Moment, brought to you by Cornerstone Memorials, is for Miss Louise Carter, the beloved librarian known as Miss Lou. For nearly 40 years, she brought fairy tales to life at the downtown Tallahassee Library. Her storytime hours were packed with laughter, puppets, and magic. Kids who once sat crisscross on her carpet now bring their own children to the same library. Miss Lou may be gone, but in every book opened, her voice still echoes. This has been a Legacy Moment, honoring the lives that shaped Tallahassee. Sponsored by Cornerstone Memorials, helping families honor their loved ones with dignity and care. Find out more online at cornerstonememorials.org. Do you know of a Tallahassee legacy that should be shared? Text the word legacy to 850-386-8255 to submit your story for the Cornerstone Memorials Legacy Moment.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Little Warchant game day version here, hour 3 of the Jeff Cameron Show on a Libations Friday. We turned it into a Warchant game day pregame show, Florida State Pitt. We do need to, though, still continue to work with and collaborate with those that advertise for our fixed position stuff, and that's good. It's time for a little NoelRetirement.com and our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. Cue it up, sir. Red Zone.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, it hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know, Ryan.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
That's good to know.
Artisan Financial Strategies, architecting your financial future, creating a life that aligns with your values, passion, and purpose, requires dynamically designed and directed financial strategies, solutions, and service. That's where our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies come into play. In particular, our good buddy Adam Tolliver doing great work for his fellow Noles and for folks who just respect and want to trust in the expertise of Adam and his group at Artisan Financial Strategies. First down, Tom, what do we got here, baby?
So first down, I want to take it to Florida State's passing attack, and I'm going to give you a number, and that number is 41.5 yards receiving.
Okay.
Over or under 41.5 yards receiving for a Florida State wide receiver not named Deuce Robinson. I want to know, essentially, is Florida State going to get a second wide receiver involved in this game?
So do you remember when I said this, I think it was before the last game, maybe before the previous game, I'm starting to get worried that they don't have a second wide receiver. Now, they have a tight end in Pittman that they're going to heavily feature. I just think moving forward, just as you saw in this last game, he's going to be a guy that figures prominently in this offense every week. He's just too good a player, and as he gets healthier and healthier, they'll utilize him. But I would really like to see. Now, in fairness, Tom, I would argue that not once but twice they had a chance to reach this number that you've presented to me with one squirrel white. But for whatever reason, Tommy really picks, unfortunately, those moments in which squirrel comes open or is schemed open to miss him by 40 yards. It's been a problem for him. I don't know if it's his stature or what it is, but he's thrown the ball over the lot when Squirrel's open and anywhere but to him. And when he's got him, you got to hit, because there might have been a 75-yard touchdown that he missed last week against Miami on a route that Squirrel ran. And then there was one in the Virginia game early on where he just misses him.
That's probably 30+ on that play.
It's an easy, yeah. So it's there. It's available. It's been schemed open. He's just missed those throws. Unfortunately, that's a little bit of Tommy, but I mean, keep trying, keep going to the well. I mean, Squirrel's getting open.
So 41.5, over or under. I'll take the over. I'm going to say it's going to be LaWayne McCoy.
Okay. You feel like it's happening. The rapport is being developed.
The rapport is being developed.
Right,
the routes they're asking of him, those throws, yes, some of them can be more difficult, like the one against Virginia where Tommy scans the whole field and finds him late. But you're seeing more in-rhythm throws to LaWayne here. So I think LaWayne's going to go over 41.5. Do you have a guy? Or do you think it's going to be nobody but Deuce at the receiver position?
No, Squirrel. It's Squirrel.
Do you think it's going to be Squirrel?
Yeah,
like they're
Squirrel.
actually going to hit it. Okay.
Well, he's got to hit it. I mean, it's there. He would have had more than 40 yards in each of the last 2 damn games. Find him. Throw the ball. He's actually recognized it. He just hasn't executed it. So there you go. I'll say Squirrel.
Second down, over, under 1.5 interceptions for Heinzel.
Oh, you say under?
Over or under.
Oh, sorry. I thought
1.5 interceptions for Heinzel.
Under. I think he'll throw one.
Okay. Some of that is a question, obviously, about our pass defense. It's not necessarily about the kid.
Yeah, I'll say under. I'm underwhelmed with our pass defense right now, so I'm going to say under. Third down.
Some might call it third. Over or under 2.5 sacks for Florida. Well, yeah. Over under 2.5 sacks for Florida State's defense.
You're going to make me go with 3 sacks? It's a good call, Tom.
Yeah. 1.5 is too light. 3.5 is too many. 2.5 is the number.
Over.
Okay.
I just told the story of the game in my head, so I'll go over.
That's what this is, as you can tell.
Yeah.
With the interceptions and the sacks.
Yeah.
Fourth down. I'm going to stay on Florida State's defensive side of the ball. At the end of the game, whenever it is you decide to leave the loge.
Oh, yes.
Will Florida State have been successful in stopping Pitt's run?
Yeah. Yes. I think so. I like our chances of slowing the running game down. Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think we're going to play from ahead, so I think we're going to dictate. If I'm wrong, then everything's open for business, and all of these predictions go wildly off base. I mean, I get that, and I will allow that that's possible. But I am picking us to win the game. I do think that in the end, Florida State's a more talented team, a desperate team, and I think a team that will play from in front and dictate terms, and therefore you can seriously limit what Pitt's able to do.
Here comes a fun fifth down. Do we see Kevin Sperry in this game tomorrow?
Oh, well, the season's in trouble if we do.
There's 2 reasons
I know. Yeah, we could be up 50-0, which you both know. We both know that's not going to happen. And the other reason is because Tommy's continuing to turn the damn ball over. Look, I'm sure this was a point of emphasis all week. And, you've got the film to show Tommy all of the instances in which if he just took the check down. We've got 2nd and 4. We've got 3rd and 1. We've got, a lot of opportunities to still stay out there, to be productive instead of trying to feast or famine this thing.
Again, it's just kind of a fun question, although one of these scenarios would not be fun. 2 of them, really. There's 3 ways he gets on the field.
Injury.
Really good, really bad, or a bump and a bruise. Yeah. But that's still, I feel like you wake up today with that chance being 17.5%,
higher than it was a
chance
week ago.
That he hits the field today for some reason.
And by the way, I do want to point out, I don't think Tommy's that banged up. I think he's fine. His quickness is still there. I didn't see a significant drop off. He may not be as electrifying as he was against Alabama, but I don't know that much of what we saw in the negative was the result of him not being able to make plays with his legs in a way that is commiserate, in this offense to being successful. I think he can. I mean, we saw him scramble around in that 4th quarter and buy time and make plays. If he were really hurt, that would be tough to do.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think if you're going to nitpick at all, it's just explosiveness in short areas to make somebody miss. I think that's what straight ahead speed. No problem. If he's rolling out, no problem. And I don't even think it's about the mechanics much at all either. I've seen some talk about that. Man, he has poor mechanics when he's fine. We talked about it in some of the Alabama breakdown. D-Rob said, well, that's a hell of a ball. Don't love the footwork, but that's a hell of a ball. Yeah, that he likes to fall away. That's one thing I'd love to see a little bit early, is Tommy stand there, deliver with 2 feet, use the ground to drive the football.
He's not a pocket passer. It's not what he does.
No, but you don't have to throw from a pogo stick.
Oh, you don't have to shot put the football. I agree with you. And you don't have to throw off your back foot. There was desperation. There was confusion. There was frustration. There was a lot of things in play there. Stephen writes, who can check Tommy with all the confidence he has, meaning to bring him back down to earth? Well, I think he's been brought back down to earth by all the interceptions. I can't imagine that he's tough to kind of deal with right now. He's got to be humble at this point. Now, I know he's brash and I know he's confident at all times, but I worry a little bit about that confidence. I wonder if he has been shook to some extent. He's been responsible for some pretty awful interceptions these last 2 games. I mean, really pivotal moments in which you just can't throw an interception, and he did.
He just looked like he was in the red from the word go last week. It's not from a lack of desire. It's not from cockiness. Nope. He just looked like he was revving the engine all the way. And that was really strange to see, because in the Bama game, he didn't. So you're in the same building. It's a similar circumstance. The only difference is the sun's not over your head in the sky. It's a very similar moment, but he just handled those 2 moments very differently. The thing about hero ball, it couldn't be more true. He's told us that himself. Remember the quote among the many others with Nakos in the offseason, I'm here to save jobs. But that kind of attitude, I think, is what you see. The negative side of that is what you saw on Saturday. I think he believes that. So just play within it. I think that's the right talking point this week. Play within the offense. Sit tight. It's open. If you see it, throw it, or take off with more conviction. Read it properly. It's all in front of him. I think Gus is still calling it pretty well.
I want to get back to something I said earlier about whether or not he'll be confident and why. Again, what are these 2 rosters? Are we going to get out there and find out we're more like Pitt than we're not from a roster standpoint? If that's true, then I don't know that he's going to find, the ability to calm down, be confident, play within the scheme. I think he will continue to try to push it, and that could create problems. If it could be, though, that we watch this game and very early on, you can tell there's a talent difference and Florida State gets out in front, and then all of a sudden things look absolutely back to normal.
Would it be shocking, though, if the roster looks like a Pitt roster, if before the season started we were somewhere between 8 and 4, one way or the other, in terms of preseason picks? Would that actually be gutting to see? I think they're playing at a high level. I think they're a good team, but would that stun you?
It would just be another reminder of what we're not and what we need to get to. And yeah, you can't do it all in 1 year. You can't do it all in one moment. You can't just, make it happen because you're frustrated by it. You have to see it through. I understand doesn't do me a lot of good. It's just a constant reminder, though, of one of the weaknesses. And, I brought it up yesterday, Tom, with Mike. This is a very important game for him, a very, very important game. And I think it's not just an important game for him, but it's an important game collectively for the mindset of this fan base. I think you lose 3 straight games and you have the constant reminder that you're not any better than the middling teams of the ACC. If that's what you'll start to think, you'll start to even wonder what your place is within that grouping. And that ain't good, man. That's not good for anybody.
No, agreed. In a vacuum, I can understand why the Virginia loss happened. Don't like it. It's never acceptable, but you can understand the circumstances. I still think we're a couple scores better than them that night, but you miss situations, and it comes back to bite you.
Hurts.
Miami, that's a better football team you played. I think you could have hung in there an awful lot better than you did. But you put those 2 together, even though independently I don't look at that as strike 3, you're out. You put those 2 together in sequence, and then you have to play a nooner. All right, now, I get why those 2 things happen.
Right.
But that need not happen today. You need a result today.
Very much so. It's funny, we talk about process all the time. Everybody does. No, I need a result.
You got to get a result.
By hook or by crook, you better win this game. Don't be out here screwing around, losing to Pitt, 3 straight losses, and watch this thing go flying off the tracks. We'll be playing the clip. The plane is crashing into the mountain pretty quick on Monday if that happens. Matt, thanks for the contribution and the kind words, good sir. Saw it in here in the chat. Didn't get to it before. Going to get to it right now. 3:12 at the time that he sent it on a glorious loosey-goosey Friday, and a listener since the first years with Dina. Man, that's 27 years ago. From the early days. Love the third hour on the Warchant TV. Sorry for your loss, T-Lang. # football wins. That's a great sentiment. Thank you. And, man, do we go back, don't we? 27 years. It's amazing. And the football wins are omnipresent. And obviously reaching out with his condolences for you, Tom. That's a beautiful thing. Good.
It is. I appreciate that. For a lot of people have.
Yeah,
I did take to X. I don't usually do that, but because it was discussed yesterday, and I have no problem with that. I did take to Twitter today. And so thank you to everybody on social, the boards, everywhere. Love you guys. Not an easy day, but you all understand what it is, and it's worth it. Always is.
Swish says, I feel dread now. You know, I got to be honest with you. This little exercise has made me feel a little bit of dread right now. Not the red zone with our friends at Artisan Financial, but just there's enough similarities with the teams and some frustrations, and you're like, I see the things.
It's a good challenge. It's getting off that bus.
I see the concerns. Yeah, that's troubling. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, good sir, we will be smiling in a rocking chair in the second quarter of this game, right? Wouldn't that be something? Warchant Game Day continues in a moment here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Starting next week, all Leon County high schools will extend.
Hey, this is Jay Green from Hotel Indigo, Tallahassee. Can I stop and say thank you? Thank you for telling your guests to stay with us. Thank you for hosting your corporate meetings and social events in our rooftop meeting space. Thank you for hanging out with us on FSU football game day. Believe it or not, this sales guy isn't selling anything. I just want to say thank you. But if you've never seen our rooftop and I can ever help, give us a call, 850-755-9011. We are Hotel Indigo Tallahassee. Welcome to our neighborhood.
Includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Football season is here, Tallahassee. Are you ready for backyard watch parties, burgers on the grill, and game day glory? Wait, now with those leaves piled up like a linebacker blocking the end zone. Call the lawn jump. We'll tackle those falling leaves. Clean up your yard and lay down fresh pine straw or mulch so your lawn looks like a championship field. Don't fumble your fall cleanup. Call the Lawn Johns today, and let's score you the best-looking yard on the block. The Lawn Johns. Your lawn, our game.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
So, I guess that is the concern. That is the fear. That is the, hey, man, which team are we? Which team can we be? Which team will show up tomorrow? Ultimately, I don't think that the Virginia game, I really, it's so funny how a play here or a play there can dictate the way you feel about the entirety of a season and a team and an outlook, especially that Virginia game. I think if that's 7-7, because you don't throw the pick on the 5, that gets tipped up in the air with pressure, great play by that kid. And then it's not 14-0, it's 7-7. I think you go on to win that game. And all we're talking about is you lost to a Miami team that might be one of the 5 best teams in the country, that you're not where they're at, and that is a different conversation and a frustrating one to have, and one in which you're going to have to remedy. But you're also not panicked. You're also not concerned about your quarterback. You're also not overly concerned about what the rest of the season looks like. You're just saying, okay, you lost to a top 5 team. Bounce back. You've shown yourself to be resilient. You have a road win. You have a win at home against Alabama. You're a good team. All your goals are in front of you. Everything's going to be okay. But instead, we're at a crossroads. We think that this could be a moment where maybe this team goes flying off the rails. Because if you lose 3 straight games, and they're all ACC games, and you're 0-3 in the ACC, and you've lost 8 straight ACC games, which is what this would be if you lose tomorrow at noon, then it's awfully hard to conjure up any form of confidence and belief in this coaching staff that things are going to get better as the season goes on. At this point, you would think, here we go again.
I think this team, Florida State, is a good football team with a pretty high ceiling in a given week, for what, especially with this offense and what it can be. I think Pitt's a good team with a lower ceiling, but I'm worried about where we are in terms of our confidence level today. Are you going to play with it? I'm not talking about will to win. I think they're going to be ready to go kickoff-wise with will. But I'm talking about confidence. And that's such a big part of college athletics. You pointed this out all the time, especially since the studies, the conversations you've had with an expert in sports psychology in your days on SiriusXM. This is a confidence check Saturday. How you feeling? I think you want to win. I think you're good enough to win by a couple scores today. But do you believe it in your gut? Do you know what you're seeing? Do you know what you're looking at? Pre-snap, post-snap? And that goes for the safeties as much as it goes for the linebackers, as much as it goes for the edge rushers, as much as it goes for Tommy. And that's what I'm really interested to see, because I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit afraid to know the answer, but I think it's going to be a good answer.
Yeah, I would hope they're not lacking confidence. They have, a guy like Deuce has got to be feeling better and better about who he is as a player. He's got to be brimming with confidence. I think the offensive line, for the most part, is pretty solid. I don't think that they've been undressed. You have 2 NFL ends that were able to get a lot of pressure, but Tommy created a lot of that on his own. You were able to run the ball some early in that game. And so I don't know. I feel like that, Croma, you wonder about the fumbles a little bit with him, but physically, he certainly knows he matches up just fine, and you got other guys at the position that I don't think are lacking. I don't think Gavin Sawchuk's lacking confidence there.
No.
Defensively, I believe that for the most part, Daryl's had a good season this year. He's getting doubled and triple teamed. It's good to get Kevin Wynn in there and get him back and get him started with his career at Florida State, because I think that can go a long way. I thought he played well in the action that he saw against Miami.
We had a question a couple hours ago. Who do you want to see on defense? Wynn, absolutely. Kevin Wynn, I think he can have a real impact here to stop Pitt's run. And I agree with you. A lot of guys on offense should still be confident. LeWay McCoy should be confident. He's on the rise.
Pittman's confident.
Danzy, I'm worried about, especially the Virginia performance, but then you didn't break one against Miami.
He also doesn't catch clean.
Right.
You can tell he's not a natural receiver.
And that can be confidence, too, at some point. Now it's in your head a little bit. Tommy, of course, I'm worried about. Croma, I'm not necessarily. Hopefully he's short-term memory guy, but the fumble last week, it might be in your head a little bit. But defensively, linebackers, a little concerned about confidence there. Safeties, a little bit concerned about confidence there. If Jerry's in man-on-man, I'm concerned. Maybe he's not.
It's interesting to talk about it that way. I don't think Juice Cryer is lacking confidence. I just don't know how good they are. This is what I go back to. I think there are areas on this team where I don't think it's in between the ears. I just don't think they're good enough. And that sounds harsh, but there are some guys that just aren't good enough at the position against the elite teams. You're good enough to beat Pitt.
Well, sure. Yes. Yeah. Today, that shouldn't be much of an issue, especially with the running game. Right. But against Miami, there were some circumstances in the second half where guys are where they need to be. They're schemed up to be. They're there. They're just not strong enough. I think that was more the third quarter than anything else. You're starting to see in the third quarter of that game, the Virginia stuff, where Miami's dragging you for a couple extra yards here and there. They're fighting for that extra yard and going, oh, God, this is that whole Virginia experience all over again. Some of that was those guys are arriving on time. They're just not fast enough and strong enough. And that was hurtful.
For Florida State, we didn't mention it this hour. We'll mention it now. The injury report, it's the new policy in the ACC, which requires weekly injury reports. Running back Cam Davis is still out. Wide receiver Gavin Blackwell out. Defensive end DeMonte Diggs out. Q's out for the rest of the year. Tight end Chase Lofton. What in the hell did Chase do? I mean, I thought that was described originally as a very short-term sort of situation. Gavin Markey out, linebacker Ethan Pritchard, obviously he is out for the remainder of the year.
That Q one hurts. He could have given you a little bit more of a fight last week in man, I think. But that doesn't mean that he would have been play-for-play better than Jerry.
I do like on the probable list Kevin Wynn, obviously Castellanos and Roydell. Yeah, I mean, that they're playing. Questionable is Squirrel White, Javion Boggs, Randy Pittman, Ashlyn Barker. Once again, linebacker Caleb Lavalley. I would like to see him get out there and play. Offensive tackle Micah Pettis is the one that I'm looking at there. They're questionable for this football game.
There's a lot of stuff to be apprised. Now, Florida State will make announcements before the game, but they will still, with a 2-hour before announcement, so that happens right after we're done here, say game time decision. You cannot do anything better than go to the tribal council for that period of time in the 11 a.m. hour where you're taking a read of who is going through warm-ups and who is not going through warm-ups. So I'm assuming that a lot of those questionable guys are going to be listed as game times today.
I would also note for however many weeks now it's been, but for the most part, when you check our injury report and then you look at our opponent's injury report, you feel pretty good about where you're at. Pitt's got a bevy of folks that are out. I'm looking at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 8. I mean, they're like 20 guys out for Pitt. Now, I'd have to go back through and check those depth charts and see exactly what those individuals were supposed to contribute. But anytime you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen that are out for Pitt, that can't be good. I mean, I don't – surely a couple of those guys were going to be impactful players for them. You know, you just think about your own defensive line. How many guys, how many dudes do you have to where if you had 5 of them out, it wouldn't affect your rotation considerably? That's problematic.
No, it is 100%. Now, the one thing I will say is we felt that way about Virginia, especially because their starting center was out for the game. And you think, all right, going to get a push up the middle, and then they run the ball on you. So nothing is promised. You got to show up. You got to do what you came here to do. I will tell you that if Florida State wins this game convincingly, and that could be by 14, it could be by 10, really. Like
wouldn't that be great?
If they win the game convincingly, I'll be impressed. I don't think this is a bad Pitt team. I think they're capable. I don't think they're better than us, but I think they're capable. And the circumstances that you're playing this game is an extra test for Florida State. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do today. Because if it is 31-21, that's the number I had on the report this week, thumbs up. All right, we're on the right track.
That's not a cover, Tom.
I know it's not.
Depending on when you got it.
No, I did say that too. I said I think Pitt covers, but Florida State wins by 10.
Yeah, I'd like to cover. I didn't.
Oh,
I just would.
I missed Redemption Thursday. Did we play?
Didn't play it.
Okay.
No, didn't play it. Redemption Thursday. I got off to a good start last night. We are 1-0. Tulane -6.5 over East Carolina. A little 7-point victory for your boy to start 1-0 this week. I know that number moved closer to game time to 7.5, so some people got screwed if they got jumped on then. I got it at 6.5. Tonight I have South Florida getting points, 1.5 against North Texas. I am offended for you, South Florida.
Really?
Catching
What's their
a
injury
point.
report? That's interesting.
South Florida's fine. North Texas is undefeated. They have a very good offense, but if you look at their competition, they haven't played anybody yet. So it's like, come on now. I know South Florida beat Florida. I know South Florida beat Boise State. I know South Florida's had to play, got whacked, but played Miami. I mean, North Texas doesn't have a like game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're in Texas. I got to start putting these things together. My nephew's with the band, and he's out there. They made the trip.
He's out there. Where the hell is North Texas? I don't mean what part of the state. I mean, what's the city?
Near the northern border.
Why don't you look at the city and tell me where that is? Because that's what he's enjoying now, which seems like it might be in the middle of nowhere. I got, Tom, I had Mizzou getting 3.5 against Bama.
That would be Denton, Texas.
Isn't
Matt from around Denton?
There's a movie made about Denton, Texas, too, by the way. Missouri plus 3.5 over Alabama. I took Oregon minus 7.5 over Indiana. I took Iowa State minus 2.5 over Colorado. I took Wake minus 2.5 over Oregon State. Michigan plus 2.5 against Southern Cal. I took Clemson to lay the wood to Boston College and lay the 14. Took South Carolina getting 9.5 against LSU, Tom, and I took Arizona at getting 2.5 against BYU. I like Arizona to maybe win outright, so there you go.
So Denton, Texas is northwest of Dallas. It looks to be in the area of kind of where, relative to Atlanta, maybe Marietta is. Like it's kind of a burb, but it's kind of out there a little bit. That's just studying a map.
Yeah, there's a movie about Denton, Texas, and there was also a song about Denton, Texas. Somehow Denton, omnipresent in the pop culture.
Just finds little places.
It's at least in my memory, and I can think of the movie, and I can think it's a black and white. Yeah.
Well, that's like this town and anything by Sorkin. He loves the word Tallahassee as to put in his script. You hear Tallahassee and all Sorkin stuff all over the place.
It's a fun word. All right, so you and I both, at the end of the day, are picking Florida State to win and pick ourselves up and kind of get back in the win column, feel better about everything moving forward, and we go from here, right?
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a ride. I think in the Loge box, you're going to be holding a drink for most of the game and going, okay, let's I'll take another. Get me another, please.
Come on, man.
I think it's going to be a bit of a slog, a little bit of a slugfest, but I think we pull away.
Tonight at 8:00, Detroit at Seattle. The whole kit and caboodle there, by the way. And that is Scooble and Kirby. And then tomorrow at 8:00, Cubs Brewers. Whole kit and caboodle there, too. We got lucky. And then Sunday, we'll get the winner of the Friday game against Toronto. So 3 straight days, tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. We got a little something for baseball.
A lot of 4K. You know, that's very valuable. It's a valuable asset to be watching in the 4K.
Did you feel any pity? I reached out to our dear friend, Director Matthew, in the devastation of what was the craziest decision you talk about a sheer panic in the moment. I felt bad for the guy, but holy moly, putting that into the stands instead of throwing to first base, is a toughie.
I saw that replay and I thought, well, that's a tough play. You got to tag him. And then I realized that it's a force on the second watch.
It's not only a force. He could just throw to first and then it doesn't matter.
I thought it was some sort of, there's not a force on at home. That could be made a little bit tougher. Got to get the tag down. But when I saw his bags loaded, ouch. And it was a great call. I think Brian Anderson's the best play-by-play guy nationally in baseball.
Killing it.
He's so good because the surprise in his voice captures exactly what happened. Oh, and they've won it. Yeah, that's right.
And Lazzaro's been so good for the Phillies, and he's a good story and a good guy. And I felt bad for him. He was a man. He wore it, but buddy.
I will text Matthew now because he did me a solid. He deserves a credit for the Friday show producing the Lisa.
But can you imagine your season ends because your boy panics, didn't pick it up clean, and instead of turning and casually throwing to first base, you're going to get the out there. It doesn't matter. You're good. He doesn't do that. He tries to hasten the throw to home, and he throws it into next week. That's it. That's all. We'll be at Hotel Indigo tomorrow morning. We look forward to seeing you guys. Swing on by if you're going to the game. It'll be fun. Tom, good work out of you, buddy. I know these are tough times. Love you, brother. And to all of you who listen, appreciate you very, very much. Be good. Till then, peace.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.